Are you ready? Call your mama, call your papa, call your friends. The festivities are about to begin. Boom!
Yo, 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 yo. Here we go. Hails to the yeah. There you go. There you go, there you go, there you go. I think we are being seen and heard. Yes, Streamlabs still that we are being
No,
heard. Woo! We
we're
have
not being heard.
Leil in here, but Leil, I need my 2 minutes to do my rant in the top of the show. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here in the boom. This is a happy, happy, happy Wednesday, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. May the 4th of 2022. Happy and excited to be here, guys. Like, really am. I feels good to be live 3 days on a row. Hopefully, it's many, many, many more. It's a little late today, so tomorrow, if I go live, and hopefully I do, I will have to go live a lot earlier. This will be the time that the show will be ending tomorrow, the time that I just started today. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. There are a handful of people already in the chat box. To everybody, remember that when you are watching a YouTube channel, the first thing that you should do is, at least in order to help, you say, you know what, I'm watching this channel for over a minute now. I think I'm going to watch for another 10 minutes, an hour. You should hit the like. It's a way to support the channel and help out. It's free and it's easy. So make sure to locate the thumbs up button and hit it. There's a few ways that you can help the channel with money, and I need lots of that. Is a PayPal link, and there's also a super chat. You can hit me up when the live show is on. On the videos already up and rendered on YouTube, there's a super thanks button with a little heart. You can hit me up there. It's like a super chat offline. Or check on the links on the description box. There you can join to the Discord server daily. Boom is where we at hanging out right now. If there's a little bit of wind noise, it's the fan because it's really hot in Florida, USA. And thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you to Farmers and Lel that are in the call, being patient with me doing my rant. Shout out to Curious Tube, Kuso, Peter G, Farmers Boy, No Name, Truth Nerds, Martin, Anamorphic Mind, Fred Bailey, RT96, C4, JM Clog, Steve Wilson, Bend the Light. Okay, and Truth Nerds. This is the Squeaky Earth. Mob it, mob it, mob it, mob it, mob it, mob it. All of the frogs family here. Here we go. Rain came down hot and hard about 2 hours ago. I say it's over. The show is not gonna go on, but it rained for like an hour, so everything is saturated. It just rained. It's puddles of water, and it is hot like a motherfucker. So we be sweating. I put this little plant in here because pink matches my eyes or whatever, right? We got all kinds of little gloves over here in the house. They all move. They all loop-de-loop. We got another earth. We got this one right here. And we got some little bit of plants over here. These ones look sad because I put them to get watered outside and the wind kind of fucked them up. But we're ready to rock and roll. How are you, Leal Farmers?
Nope, he doesn't want to talk then. Hello, mate. How you doing?
I am good, man. Feeling good.
Good. Yes, this is for the this is for Humongous out there. I know he's going to be so sad that he's not here to see or to listen to me and Lyle. Poor old boy.
Shout out to Truth is Everyone, Marcus Dresden, and Balanced Truths. We're already getting big camera pictures over here on the. Somebody was wondering if I was just trying to resize the camera or find a different camera lenses to do the show. Yeah. What was it? I gotta find the comment. Anyways, yeah. Tiny camera. Yeah. This is a tiny camera on the. It's a tiny camera on the laptop, like tiny, like smaller. The whole thing is smaller than my pinky fingernail, and I bet if I put like a P900 with a big ass lens like this, I'm still gonna see this. I don't think. No need to scale the camera.
I don't understand the whole argument about scaling the camera. It doesn't make any sense. How can you scale a camera? It's the size it is.
It's a new bullshit that they came up.
Yep. They needed some new bullshit because all the other bullshit they've been using for years was getting very, very tired and worn out and thin and yeah. So shout out to Gary for bringing some fresh bullshit.
Yeah. We need new.
Kind of appropriate, really.
The tired trons are making everything tired. Like the pushy trons.
In Pushytrons, we also have Thirst and the Stingray in the house. Everybody is welcome to join. I'm going to throw a link to the Discord server in the chat box, which most of the people is already part of the Daily Boom Discord server. So if you join, you should be able to type something in the spam room, or you can DM me, direct message me on one of the moderators to give you roles if you want to speak, or just post stuff. Join the server and send us a.
Come join the insanity.
We have to scale the insanity.
No, you only have to scale your model and more importantly your camera.
Your camera, yeah. You don't have to scale your madness. That's going to be unscalable.
That's going to be off the charts.
You gotta scale the frogs.
They are scaled. They are scaled. I've never seen frogs this big. I already scaled them so they can kind of match my. Now anybody is able to see this earth right here. This is not seen on YouTube. I can see it. I can see that there's something here, but you guys cannot see this either because it's a scaled model scale down of the earth. That's why this camera is not going to be able to grab it unless I have a 1,000 miles big diameter of lens. I wouldn't been able to take a picture of this. You won't be able to see this, but my camera is. Wait a minute.
I see the squeaky wheel has been taken over by froglets or something.
Frogs. Earth is populated by frogs. We got a frog family here. Yep.
Hasn't grown very much over the past 6 months. Usually frogs multiply faster than that.
Oh, they're already grown. I already made them grown above their size limit.
You should go buy some more.
I accept donations of frogs. If you want to send me frogs, bring it on.
Okay.
I got one over here. I got one inside with a broken leg. That was from my older place that I used to live. I gotta put him out here. Put a band-aid or something.
You heard it here first, everybody. Start donating Jose real frogs.
I didn't say real. I mean, real frogs. They got to be tangible, you know. Real frogs, yes. Alive, not really.
Real frogs, unboiled.
What's up with the boiling? Nobody mentioned boiling here. Has nothing to do with frogs.
It's hot there.
Oh,
Not
well,
that.
yeah. They like this weather. They enjoy this weather. Hola, yo soy muy nuevo. Hola, Alkei, yo soy nuevo too. Bien. Alkei is new. Hello. He's Spanish, I think.
Right, okay. Oh, yeah, he's Spanish.
It's like 75 degrees Celsius where I live.
Is it though?
Over here, it says over here in the genetic weather thing, 82 degrees Fahrenheit, but it's raining on and off and fucking horrible humidity. Wait, look how many froggies with a $2 super chat by Anamorphic, man. Froggies!
It's a lot of froggies.
Thank you, Anamorphic, man. You're awesome. I really appreciate it. Now, why do we have frogs, but the sound that we have is cows mooing? I don't know about that, man. Maybe.
I don't have any cows. Hear any cows mooing?
No, you don't hear them, but the YouTube does. Every time I receive a super chat.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. And cowbell. Not only cows, but cowbell. I
need more cowbell.
Yeah, I give you a pic of what people have heard. Let me go to my channel, my stream. I gotta go back a few seconds. Oh, perfect. You heard that? No, you don't hear him, but the YouTube does. Every time I receive a super chat. How about that? Aren't those cows a cowbell? Isn't that a
Oh, that's better. I needed some more cowbell. You can't have too much cowbell.
How do you guys like my thumbnail today? Pretty evil, right? I like
It's very, very bloodletter demon of corn. I thought.
I have no idea what that is.
No, you wouldn't do. But anybody who's familiar with the Warhammer world and Warhammer 40,000
Really?
will know what a demon. Yes, demon of corn. Blood for the blood god.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I thought. When I saw it, I thought, oh yeah, I can see that.
I have to rescale the cowbell to attract fronts. Whoa! Look at that! Another super chat for $2 with cows and cowbell, and it's going on and this very time, as I say it, more cow and cowbell needed.
You know, it'd be really cool if you could figure out how to do a bot that would do frog noises and cowbells or whatever the noise is with the emojis. That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be cool. Yep, make emoji noises. How about when we put the derp? What noise will it make?
What noise does dirt make?
Probably a farting noise, I would think.
Or either that, the sound of a face, a hand impacting a face at high speed. There's your face palm. I don't know. What is the sound of derp?
Well, we can grab a audio clip saying or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Or whatever.
Whatever.
With a lemon tone.
Oh no.
Or whatever.
No.
Don't say lemon bird, okay?
Yeah, because if you do that, you're a complete wanker.
15-degree drift.
Thanks, Bob.
Discord user, you sorted out your microphone yet or not? Just let me know, man. He could be whoever.
Yep.
But don't you think that's a depth? 15-degree drift.
Yeah, we've heard it so many times. That's a problem.
All right, I gotta share my screen. We'll start putting cool images. If anybody has an image which you would like to talk about, please make sure to share that on the Discord. Different window. That was my second window that I shared with stuff. And YouTube should be able to see it. Yeah, it is kind of earlier now. Everybody's welcome to come in and join. That's one of the cameras that I was attempting to resize previous to the show. Just didn't work out as intended. I know you guys are not interested, but I just got a comment on. Oh, we got a super chat! Bye, Leo. This one's coming also with cows and cowbell. $5, Leo. All flirts when asked a simple question, their brain has a 15-degree drift.
Sorry, typo there.
Typo, yeah, there's only 3 of them.
No, but it's good. The drift is good because it's related to flat earthers. So it's not a drift. Drift is in reality, but for flat earthers, will be a drift. I appreciate that. That's a good typo. Excellent, I must say. Thank you, everybody.
The unnamed lemon bird hasn't shown up yet.
No, he'll come in shortly.
Yeah, I miss Lemon Bird. He is the funniest breath in the world.
Funny, man. We shouldn't, yeah. Farmer's Boy have a good technique.
Yeah, I just deafen myself. I don't have to.
He bails, yeah. He just deafened himself.
I just deafen myself, and I can see when he's still there and he's still talking. So it's like, yeah, I'll just, I'll crack on and do some work or something. Eventually, he buggers off, and I come back in because I just can't stand the guy's voice, let alone the absolute shite that he talks. Yeah, there you go. I just posted a very pretty picture in Discord there. That was that's a very nice view of the Pacific Ocean.
Right.
Thank you for saying it right.
Let's go. Let me say hello to Stingray. Get a mic check. I don't know if you want to, probably lurking in the background and listening whenever you want to jump in, Stingray. Have you? No, I got a quick question for you, Stingray. Are you able to replicate something like this? Do it 100% CGI, an image like the one I got on screen, right? No matter the time it takes.
Yes.
Right, that's cool. Is it? Do you need a lot of reference to look at an actual picture in order to replicate it, or do you kind of just do it off mind?
The only thing it would need to be convincing is plausibly accurate, not accurate, but plausibly accurate. As long as you can't look from the ground up and say, "Hey, that cloud is the wrong shape." You wouldn't be able to do that. So I just need to make it realistic, and you can make very realistic volumetric clouds. So yes, I could do that.
Cool.
And I ain't even good at it, so someone that's good at it could do it very, very well and have a system for doing it.
Yeah, man, I bet. Fuck yeah.
But the question is, do you scale the camera when you're doing it?
Scaling the camera is utterly irrelevant. The only thing that you would need to scale, or the only time that scale is important is with distances and metrics of sizes. You cannot scale field of view, since the field of view is by relational dimensions. So if you scale a box, you still end up with 90-degree edges or 45-degree to the center, or 45-degree to center to edge. So it doesn't matter what size that box is. It's still 45 degrees.
I'm sorry, Stingy, you're starting to sound like Yellowbird to me. I'm sorry.
It's where you keep things.
Well,
the view does matter. The size and position of the camera.
You're very quiet, Gary. Little roboting, I'm very quiet. Lemon,
Hey, sorry, let me roll my window up.
Let's get from Lemon until you sort that out. Go ahead.
What I'd like to know is, why do some...
Hold on first. Let's hear from Lemon.
Just really quickly, wouldn't you have different numbers of photons per, unit area, depending on how high off the ground you are, or something like that? or something to that effect? I mean, would everything scale that way, Stingray? I mean,
So
would it scale differently if you were off the surface higher or lower?
yeah, I mean, so the photons don't change size, and the amount of photons per surface area don't change. If you scale the camera, let's say I've got something like a full frame sensor on my Sony camera next to me right now, and it measures 3 inches, just over a little over 3 inches over the diagonal, and it's a 42 megapixel full frame sensor. Now my phone, or one of my phones, one of my Android devices, has got a 42 megapixel sensor in it. So it's got exactly the same number of pixels, but the sensor is a lot smaller. Now, the only difference between the two, you are correct, 1 pixel gets less photons and therefore its light sensitivity is decreased. But only its light sensitivity, and it's the difference between, let's say, 100 billion photons hitting 1 pixel as opposed to 100 billion photons hitting 1 pixel. So the only difference is the intensity of light. If you can still resolve detail, no, there's no discernible visible difference.
Cool. I got a super chat I would like to read. This is the perfect timing. Big thank you to Carl Christopherson because he sent me a 26 super chat. Thank you for the 20 SEKs, 26. At Gary Webenga, and that's I'm gonna fix the typos as I read this. And that's why you don't scale your camera. Boom! Shout out to Carl Christopherson.
He's just simply wrong. The size of your camera, if you made a person in that scale, let's say you scaled that person down holding the camera, you have to basically have the same scale as everything else. You have to, because it has to do with the angles from the camera lens to all the objects in the distance that they were picturing. In this case, that was like, what's his name? Bearded Devil with his scaled model that wasn't scaled. You can just do it with your own cell phone camera. If you got the lenses on one side, just hold the lenses, put a couple little things out somewhere on a desk or something, and put the lenses close to the surface, take a picture, then flip it over so the lenses are higher above the surface. Do it from the same distance. You get a completely different angle to those things. And that's the same thing. You don't get the same angle in a scaled model unless you also scale down the camera and its distance above the surface. Otherwise, everything else changes in your field of view.
Perfect. I have a question for you then, Gary. Every video put out by a flat earther, have they scaled their camera?
I don't care if they did or not. I'm not them.
No, let's
So
answer
you need to reject their our videos because they didn't scale their camera correct.
Well, the problem, Will, is you guys scream and moan whenever they don't scale, but then you guys don't scale. So what's the difference?
Yeah,
No,
what I
that's
was
not
going
what
to say
I'm
is,
asking. My question is, I don't care whether I scale it correctly or not. My question is, are you holding the flat earthers to the same standard as you're holding us? Do you reject all flat earth videos because they haven't scaled their camera is the question.
Actually, I've said things numerous times to different people. I don't give a shit who you are. I don't care if you're a flat earther or a globe earther.
Let's answer the question and move to the hijack the conversation.
But if he didn't scale the camera, then he doesn't have a scale
let's
model.
let Tercy speak after this whole exchange. He's been trying to get in there. Tercy, what were you saying?
No, Gary's not answering the question. Do you reject all of the flat earth videos because they have not scaled their camera?
I haven't watched all the flat earther videos in order to reject them all. But if I run across somebody who I think did something wrong in their videos, I do make a comment. I've done it many times. That's probably why I'm not in their favor for the most part. Well, have you criticized all the Globers when they make mistakes in their videos?
I haven't seen any that makes mistakes.
I criticize the shit out of their videos.
I heard you yesterday. I loved it. Especially with PhD mad scientist Tony.
Tony, he just hears me and he boils. His blood boils, and I try to keep it in the down low, but I don't do it to trigger him. But if I feel like I want to join a conversation where he's at. Sometimes he leaves, sometimes he stays, and when he stays, he just get pissed off at me. That's not my fault. It's his. He doesn't have he doesn't have a patience. Well,
he's an obnoxious moron that you can't stand it if anybody questions anything he says.
He's all right. He's a very smart. He's one of the smartest guy. I just don't have
He's
a
got a
association with him.
PhD. He's got a PhD, and you call him a moron.
I just don't
Yeah,
agree with him. I don't
of course
agree
you
with
call
him
him a moron because he thinks you're wrong. So anybody who doesn't agree with you is a moron, isn't that right, Gary?
No, he is a moron
No,
just
he's
by his
not.
attitude.
No.
Yeah, kind of like you. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You see?
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
You guys can't stand if anybody questions anything you say. Only you guys can be right about anything. That's how you guys act.
Well, can I
You
try
could be
and
right
be
if you
right
wanted
about
to.
something,
You're
and
not.
people can hear me? Well, you shut up and let me talk.
All right. Let's go. Terz is gonna bring us back to. Terz is gonna bring this. Terz is gonna bring this back down to earth to the top.
I am. I'm going to bring this back down here.
Go ahead.
A professional person with a camera uses different lenses for what they're trying to shoot. If you try to shoot different things with the same camera and the same lens, you're not going to get a very good productive resolution. This is why professional camera people use multiple different lenses for whatever they're shooting and what they're trying to get.
Well, the thing that I was thinking was happening with this, photons per unit pixel is, you're off the surface, you have a wider angle, you can see further. And what's represented in, each inch of camera, space.
Photo lens you see further, not a wide angle, sorry.
Gotcha. So off the surface, you would have, wider angle off the surface and more, light per unit, camera or whatever, as opposed to being close to the surface or being in like a microscope or something like that. And so that's what I was thinking was happening.
Probably a telescope or binoculars, yeah.
Same thing with the telescope too, yeah. You got to focus some light on the sensor of the camera. Same thing.
Hey, Lemonbird, Stingray just told you about 2 different cameras that have 2 different sensors, same megapixels. If he went outside and took an image or took a picture of a car with each of those cameras and showed you those pictures, do you think you could tell the difference between how many photons are in one and how many photons are in per pixel are in either?
I probably would not. The only thing that I could think would be different, Lil, would be how crisp or detailed the picture would be. I think that would be the only difference.
So 1 billion to 1 million, you think you could tell the difference in the crispness of how many photons are hitting a pixel?
Yeah, I guess the level of detail or resolution, that's the only thing that I think would be different, Lil. That's just how crisp or detailed or resolved the image is.
Both have the same resolution, Lemon, 42 megapixel.
Because you're talking about a 42 megapixel in your iPhone camera versus like a bigger, regular camera that's still 42 pixels or whatever.
Yeah, so you've got a micro APC sensor inside a phone, and then you've got a full frame 3¼ inch sensor in a DSLR, well, a mirrorless camera that I've got. Both do 42 megapixel. The only thing that differs is the light sensitivity, but that's offset by the gain and charge that you put across the sensor for digital gain. So Lael's right. If I take a picture with either, you wouldn't be able to tell. The only major difference would be the ability to have depth of field shown, because it's easier with a larger sensor since it's a function of the sensor size and the distance.
Could I get a different picture from the same sensor using different lenses?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So why the hell are you talking about focal length and the little dye that's going to pick up the photons when professionals use different lenses to get different effects and different distance and different resolutions and not the actual. They don't change cameras; they change lenses, don't they?
Well,
Well,
this is it.
Doesn't change. Wait a minute, Lemon. It doesn't change fucking resolution. So I'm really sorry. A lens doesn't change resolution. The thing that we're on about purely is something from yesterday, which is scaling you need to scale a camera if you build a scale model of something, and what you're in effect saying is you need to scale a lens to have the same kind of to scale a lens down, scale all the optic and the glass down. But unfortunately, scaling that gives you exactly the same field of view as you had when the lens was big.
I guess we were getting on
yesterday. I wasn't here, mate. So yeah, I missed that conversation. Sorry.
Well, I don't get why we're even having this conversation. It's absolutely ridiculous.
We were talking about the scalability and whether or not we can test the appearance of the horizon here or there perfectly at all scales with, quote unquote, all lenses, with the appearance of the horizon here or there over a flat plane, or if you're going to get, the same amount of scalability, photons per unit area, whatever, for perfect scalability with all cameras and all, sizes of the display or whatever, or how close you are to the surface in real life, little miniature,
Okay,
everything's
let me-
or not.
Lemon Bird. Let's forget their cameras, okay? Forget cameras. Use your eye.
Yeah, my eye shows me a flat surface, and I'm trying
Okay.
to figure out
Now
why
let's say we've
surface
killed. Let's say we built something to scale, okay? And instead of using a camera, use your eye. How does that differ from using a camera?
the camera has more resolution. It can peer to a further horizon, but a horizon will still form nonetheless.
Well, no, I'm talking about building something to scale. I'm not talking about a massive.
And that's why we're
Not
talking
to
about
build
this.
either.
We're trying to see if
Well,
everything.
I don't know. Could you thread a
do
needle
you-
by looking through your camera? Or would it be easier to thread a needle by just looking at it with your eyes? So is your eye better than a camera because you're threading a needle, but terrible at looking at something, a mile away? I don't know.
Well, a camera has some drawbacks, some things that it does better than the eye, some things the eye does better than the camera. The eye can, grow and develop and heal. The camera, once it's broken, that's thousands of dollars. And so there's drawbacks to, anything that you construct, be it the magnificent.
I'm not talking about being broken. We're talking about using it for the things it's used for. You wouldn't use a camera for shooting like 150 meters away for threading a needle, which is, 15 inches from your face. You know what I mean? The eye is better at that than a camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think part of the reason why we got here was whether or not, Bearded Devil's, scale is really giving us everything we need. Whether George's, quote unquote scale picture is showing all of the scale, or if there's, more photons here, more photons there, whether it's perfectly scalable. I think that's why we're getting onto this thing about the shape of the Earth, and whether we can even scale this thing in perfect, geometric ratio diagrams to see if, the horizon goes here or wherever.
Yeah, but look, you don't need to scale down the camera. That's completely ridiculous. I mean, people have been building stuff to scale for freaking centuries. Architects. I mean,
I'm going
all
to side
types
with
of different
Lemon.
things.
I'm going to side with Lemon on one thing, and I'm being honest here, Lemon. This is me knowing about cameras and sensors and things. The camera scale, as in the physical size of the camera, would only make a difference. This is the one time it will make a difference. It will make a difference if the diameter of the end lens element and or the physical sensor size were significant enough to cause an issue with your scaled down model, if that was the subject. And by that I mean, if you think of a lens element as a way just to suck in light, the diameter or the diameter of the end of the lens element being huge, if you were to measure something with that height, that could be a slight offset. Now, it could be an issue for when Globers do videos, but it's almost definitely an issue for your favorite person. Oh, what's his name? I forget him. Shoots down a hallway. Oh,
Life is short.
yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Because I want to see if this scale holds out at all, lens settings. If I move something, I don't know, one, unit of object, I guess, away from the microscope lens, do I get the same, focus or the same level of depth of field as moving an object, one object length away, or 4 times the object length away with like a regular telephoto lens or whatever? I don't know if these, ratios would hold all the way from the microscope.
No,
down
they're
to
totally different, man. They don't work the same.
Yeah,
I doubt that would be the case.
So in that respect, Lemon, you're absolutely correct because of two factors, and it's the thing that I mentioned. If the last lens element size and or the sensor size is significant enough of a metric in what you're trying to do, that can cause an issue. So one immediate thing is, like you just said, the depth of field, the out of focus areas. If you're incredibly close and your lens element is, let's say, even 1/100th the size of the distance to your object, then moving that object, there's going to be a significant issue with that. So you're correct, you have to scale it down if out of focus areas were your concern in this scale model. But like I said yesterday, the way that you deal with that is you just tighten up the aperture and shoot at f/18 or f/22, and the out of focus areas aren't really an issue for you then.
Very interesting.
Interesting. Tighten up, huh? You got to tighten up.
Got to.
Tighten up.
I think you guys are all missing the point.
No, we understand
Because
the point.
it has to do with angles to the center of the
No,
lens.
it doesn't.
Yes, that's why just be quiet, NASA. You're interrupting and you hate it when I do it to you. So be quiet, please. Thank you. So anyhow, it's like my cell phone. If I look at the back side, my lens is on the left. And so I can put that part of my camera down on the ground and take a picture of a scene in front of me. Now I got a Nikon D500. That's my camera, my other camera. It's got a way bigger lens, and I can set it right next to my cell phone. Your angle is going to be completely different. You're going to have a whole different scene. Even though you're filming the same scene, the position of everything in that field of view is going to be completely different. And that's the point of this scaled down model. Well, if he doesn't have that part of his camera scaled down to the proper position, he's going to get a whole different parallax effect of that Blackpool Tower in relation to the mountain. And that's why he didn't scale his model, and that's why the mountains in his scaled model are way above the tower. And when in Ranty's picture, it's way below the tower.
Well, I asked you to quantify it and tell me by how much it's going to be changed, and you told me you don't know.
I don't need to quantify it. It's just a fact of reality.
You do.
You can do it with your own cell phone camera and another camera side by
you
side.
can do it with your cell phone, and you'll see it makes
I'll make a video. I took pictures yesterday. I just got to make the video.
The tower
I don't have to quantify it. I don't have to give you a number.
Yes, you make a claim.
I can demonstrate what it actually does.
No,
and
you can't.
And he didn't match his picture. That's why he had a whole different picture.
Gary,
he didn't scale down to the camera.
You never did. When you ask to show something, you always show something.
Are you talking about a completely different video?
No, I'm talking about this video of Bearded Devil. If he's at 50 millimeters, if his camera center is 15 millimeters above the ground, and he will take it down to the ground, the tower will still be below the mountain. It will make no difference to you. There will be slight of offset. It will be
millimeter versus 15 to 20, like he said. If it's 1 millimeter from the ground, is it going to look different than the 15 millimeter to 20 millimeter one? Absolutely, it would. No. You guys are silly.
No,
absolutely it would. The whole parallax effect of the tower in relation to the mountains would be completely different. That's why he didn't scale his model down.
Gary, I said it would, but it won't bring the tower above the mountain. It will still be significantly below it. If you want to
Not
tell
if he
me
scaled his camera.
otherwise,
Oh, no, and that,
you're
if
welcome.
he scaled it right, you're right. Hey, I will give you this. If he scaled it right, the tower would be above the mountains.
No, it wouldn't.
Well, no, that's what it would be
No,
if he scaled it correctly, because that's what the original picture was.
If he will put the center of the camera 2 millimeters above the ground, it will still look the same. With
I'm
if
gonna
you
put together a
compare the
video today.
pictures,
I already took the pictures.
if
I'll
you
demonstrate the
compare,
reality of
if
how
you
much just a
compare,
few millimeters makes
go ahead, make my day,
in a scaled
Galen.
model.
Go ahead, make my
It makes
day,
a huge
but
difference.
don't make
You
it.
have a complete
Don't
different
make
parallax
it.
effect of the tower in
No,
relation to the
don't
mountains.
make it. Don't make it close objects and half a meter difference.
Oh no, it's gonna
Make
be
it
it's gonna be two little model
at that
pickups.
scale. At
It'll
that
be on a little
scale.
picnic table.
At the
Bring it-
scale
bring it
they
a little
will
couch
split it
All
and
I'm gonna do is
lower it 10
lens
millimeters
is close
down.
to the ground, close to the surface of the table, and then
10
I'll put the camera the
millimeters
other way
down.
and have,
Never mind the
have
table.
those
Go
same
to
lenses just a little bit higher.
Go
Even
to
though the same distance,
Blackpool
you're
and
gonna
take
get
a photograph of the Blackpool Tower above the mountains or below the mountains. Go to Blackpool and do it. Don't do it on a table. That's all fake.
I'll make the
That's all fake news. That's CGI. That's not good. You know what I mean?
look like
Make
I'm
sure you
higher
include some
up,
little
and then
cows,
by
Gary.
moving my lens to the other side of the camera upside down.
Gary, make sure you have some little cows in there too, okay?
I don't need any cows in there.
Yeah, you do. You need
I
some
don't have
little
any
cows.
little cows.
You know, just like Father
don't
Ted,
need
close and far away. You need to understand.
Yeah,
this.
you're missing the point. You're missing the
No,
point
you're
that
missing
we
the
got a picture where we're talking about a parallax effect of something between you and the mountain, and you're disregarding that completely because you're a
No,
moron.
the reason that you just refuse to think the fact that this actually proves the curvature of the Earth, and you have to come up with some sort of bullshit.
I wasn't even talking about the curvature. I'm just saying he never scaled his model correctly. That's why you got a completely different view of his
No,
picture
because
compared
he
to
did
the
it.
It
He did
wasn't a model. It was real life,
did
wasn't
it
it?
on-
It
he
was
did it on
the
a flat
Blackpool
plane.
Tower.
Your model is only as good as the input, and he didn't scale his camera down to the proper position above the surface.
Of course.
As far as I
because-
remember, these photographs were of the actual Blackpool Tower mountains in the background. That's real life. It's not scaled models. It's real life. Go and do it in real life, and then show us.
I must read a comment. I must read a quick comment. And this is a question for we all know that we have a different animal in the YouTube chat box. We have this show going on in here in voice, and we had a totally different animal going in the YouTube chat box. I'm glad that we got 40 people watching and engaging in the chat box. Thank you very much. No Name is asking, what shape is the Earth at Balanced Truths? So No Name is having a conversation with Balanced Truth. Balanced Truth, you are asked a question by No Name with a $2 super chat. Thank you, No Name. There you go. And now a $5 super chat coming through. After I read this one, then Earth is Live can go ahead. Anamorphic Man with $5 on the new episode of As the World Turns. Will Gary and Lemon finally admit they are morons that fail to learn perspective and how cameras work? That and much more in the next episode of As the World Turns. Thank you, Anamorphic Man. Appreciate it. Boom. Go ahead, Earth is Live.
So, Billy, I hate when you make this water, you stare at everything perfectly.
What's wrong with your microphone?
Oh, it's a horrible microphone. Yeah, man.
Of course, that.
A little garbled. But as we know, the Earth doesn't turn. At best, the ether turns over the flat, motionless Earth, while the Earth moves not. It took us 500 years to find out this secret that heliocentrism tried to protect us from when it came to the truth, as it were. But now we know the truth, that the Earth is flat, covered by a dome. And at best, the substance of space, the ether, swirls gently over it like a gently moving once-a-day tornado.
Any evidence of the dome or the ether or the tornado or anything?
Hey, why you even?
Oh yes, sundogs, parhelions, rainbows
No,
that look like the
sundogs
sun
and
was cracking
parhelions
through it, all
sun-
that, you know.
Sundogs have to do with ice crystals, but nice try.
Your excuses are weak. That ice crystal thing is at best the screen for the phenomenon that's
exactly what happens, because you only see it when it's really, really cold.
That's a fallacy of what is it, degree or something like that?
Nope,
You think that
yeah,
just because
degree.
ice crystals are present that they're, basically the cause or whatever.
They are the
They're
cause.
not the thing that's sufficient to cause the effect. They're
They
just
are the
showing
cause,
the
actually.
effect. That's all. They're
crystals
incidental, but they're
only
not
happen with ice
causal.
crystals.
So there's a
Only
bit
ha-
of a
no, they
fallacy
are
there,
causal.
whatever it's called.
No, exactly, they are causal. The only time you ever see sundogs is
Fallacy of
it's really, really
incidence
cold.
or something like that. There's probably some sort of technical name for that crap.
Yeah,
But
it's called the
anyway, the ice
fallacy
crystals
of
aren't
you have your
causing
head
it.
up your ass. It's called the
They're not
fallacy of you
causing
have your
it.
head up your ass. That's what's called.
They're just a screen for the phenomenon that's already happening.
Yeah, like I said, it's the fallacy of you have your head up your ass. So come on, how about
It's
some proof of the
happening
dome
because
now?
the dome is filtering the light, giving you the
Yeah, why
rainbow,
don't we
giving
see
you
why
the
don't we
sundogs,
see
and
sundogs?
at best you have a screen of ice crystals
Why don't
showing.
Why don't
That's
we
it.
see sundogs on in like Florida or something? We never see
Probably
sundogs in
because you're
Florida.
too far away and at the wrong angle. And don't they still have
Because
sundogs
the ice
down there
crystals.
sometimes?
No, ice crystals. You need ice crystals.
Sundogs, parhelions, or sundogs in warmer areas. There you go.
No, not usually.
So it looks like the sun shining off of a solid dome surface.
So
where
the
this
best thing you got
terrarium
is
that
a
our
rainbow-like
creator
effect.
lovingly placed us in, a motionless, terrarium that is perfect for our habitation. It's not going to move. The Earth is on pillars on top of a watery deep. We're not going anywhere. We're not revolving. We're
Any
not
proof of
turning.
this?
The only thing that's turning is the substance of space, the ether.
Any proof of any of this, Lemon?
Yeah, space cannot be nothing. It has to be something to exist.
That's
and
nice.
so if space is something,
like I
it
said,
can turn and churn like butter. It can turn and churn like a river. It can
Any
turn
proof?
and churn like the wind and give us this thanks Bob 15-degree gyro drift while the Earth doesn't move underneath.
Actually, that thanks Bob is exactly correct because he demonstrated that the Earth was actually rotating. The only
He
way
demonstrated that the ether rotated just like in the
gyro.
Michelson
The gyro
days.
will not. If the gyro was stationary, it would register it being stationary. It was not.
The ether has been proven not to exist, so where do you go for there when it's been proven there's no ether and, particles pass through space without going through ether? Where do you go for there?
Well, proof, quote unquote, doesn't come from a bag.
The queen is a biscuit. No.
To Molman. I wanted to say that. Molman, you want to get a mic check? What's it?
Yeah, I want to mic check.
There you go. You're on.
I am the Messiah, and the queen is a biscuit.
Thank you very much for your participation. Appreciate it. That was very, very insightful.
Gary,
Kind of weird.
how do you know that the devil didn't scale correctly when you don't know how to scale?
If he had scaled it correctly in his model, you would see the mountains under the tower.
How do you know?
Just like in the original. Okay,
do you know?
Jackie, there's no arguing with you. If he scaled it, you would have the same.
Because I asked you a specific question.
Scale it.
How do you know that
scaled.
it didn't scale it correctly?
I just
It's
told you,
because it
Jackie.
doesn't do what you expect
I
it
told
to
you,
do.
Jackie,
That's
if
what
he
you tell me.
scaled the picture, it would look similar to the Blackpool Tower picture. You would see
No,
the
it
mountains
wouldn't.
under the tower.
You
The
see,
tower would
that's
be
where
over
you're
the
wrong.
mountains. So he
You
did
see,
scale.
that's
He
where
did
you're
scale
wrong.
something correctly.
Why?
Something's not scaled.
What? No. It's because
Yes,
you don't know how to
Jackie.
scale. You can't quantify it. You can't tell me why. Your only reason.
Jackie.
Your
If he
only
scaled it
reasoning.
properly, where would
Gary,
if he
let
scaled
me
it
finish.
properly, where would you see the mountains in relation to the tower? If he scaled
Below
everything
the
properly?
mountain will be above the tower. Listen, if you knew how to
So
scale, how
scaled
to
correctly, it would
quantify
change the
things,
whole picture.
Gary,
If he
if you
scaled
knew
it
how.
correctly, it would be completely different in the original. Thank you.
Can I
You
talk,
guys are
Gary,
morons.
please? With your permission, can I talk? If
You
you
can
know
go
how
ahead,
to quantify things, you would be able to tell. Your only reason for you to claim that he didn't scale correctly is because it doesn't show what you expect it to show. That's your standard here. I asked you a simple scaling question, which you didn't answer after you told me that my model is broken and I don't know how to scale.
Hey, Jose, if he scaled it correctly, would the mountains be under the tower?
Depends on the shape on the surface that he does the test.
No, well then he didn't scale that correctly either. He did everything wrong.
No, he did everything right. He was trying to scale it down on a flat surface.
So anytime nothing looks like what you want to see, it's wrong. Is that what you're saying?
Demonstrate that the Earth isn't flat.
Well, the reality was right in front of your face. You guys are just denying it. I guess that's
No, we are
You're
accepting.
by saying if it's not what I want to see, then it's wrong.
Hold on, easy, Gary. I accept reality. I accept that the scale test that Bearded Devil did was very accurate and very, very telling, and we got a good result of it. He scaled everything down, and he did it on a flat surface. Unfortunately, it didn't match the observation in reality, and I tell you why. This is why, because the Earth has a curvature on it of certain rate, and the scale model that Bearded Devil did not have that curvature at that rate. That's why when we look at the scale model versus the real life shows something we should be able to replicate in a scale model, but because some people say that the Earth is flat, then the test was done on a flat surface. Then you compare the two at the end, you say something is not adding up. Either Bearded Devil did not do this on a flat surface, or the Earth is not flat, or what's going on here? That was the issue.
Or he didn't scale his camera properly, which is what I told you already.
What do you mean by scale the camera? What do you mean by scale the camera?
How many times do I have to say the same thing?
Say one more time. I don't know what you mean.
The elevation of his camera in the model was too high.
No, the elevation was correct. Now the lens is bigger. The lens is really big, but the center of the lens of the camera was in the correct height.
So if he put a little man holding that little camera, that lens in his model would be bigger than the man.
So let me just. How's my mic? Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, it sounds a lot better. Go ahead, people. Yeah, give it a try now.
Okay, so Gary, when you recreate this scale model that you're going to create, make sure you get all the correct distances in the Blackpool Tower image, right? The heights, the distances, and everything, and you scale that down correctly.
I'm not making a scaled down model of Blackpool Tower. I'm just going to show you how the camera level, the level of the lens makes a difference in how you see the parallax effect of the tower in relation to the mountains. If you don't do it right, you're going to get a completely different result. If you don't get the elevation and the size of the camera at the right part, at the right elevation and the right size, you're going to get a whole different look.
So
yeah, you would have to be on Earth that's shaped like a banana to get the tower below the mountains.
Let's not obfuscate Beeble. Beeble has a point.
So Gary, like I said, when you do this, I'm not sure what you're going to try and show. Are you going to try and replicate what Bearded Devil did, or are you just going to do something different?
Okay, did I just tell you I'm not making a model of Blackpool Tower? Did I just not say that, or were you not listening? You were just thinking of your next question.
I was listening, but I'm just trying to figure out exactly what you're doing.
Evidently you did, because I told you I'm not doing a model of Blackpool Tower. I told you a minute ago. Maybe you weren't listening a minute ago. I said I'm just going to have two little model pickups and an old picnic table. I'm just going to show you how I'm going to take my camera, which has the lens on the left side. I'm going to set that part on the table, at the same distance from those model pickups, right? And then I'm going to flip my camera the other side, so the lens is now higher, but it's still the same distance. And I'm going to show you the parallax effect and how it makes your field of view completely different. It's like an inch difference.
Wait. Okay, are you finished? Let me know when you're finished.
My point is that's what happens in the Blackpool Tower scale model that Bearded Devil did, because if he didn't get his lens at the correct height above the surface, he's going to get a whole different parallax effect of the tower.
What is the correct height?
Okay.
Hold on. Beeble, hold on. Got it. You've been talking for a bit. Beeble, go ahead.
So, if you're going to show how Bearded Devil was incorrect, what you need to do is scale it to the same scale that Bearded Devil did, and then show.
I already told you I'm not making a model of Blackpool Tower. This is the third time I've told you, people. Pay attention now.
And it's not.
Your next argument or your next question. I'm not doing
Because-
that. I'm showing how if the position of the camera is not correct, you get a whole
You were
different
sure
parallax effect.
would be no
of
good
the
if
thing.
not scaling.
You go after Bebo and Gary are done.
Hey, I'm going to go for a little bit. I want to go
Giving
take a
1 or 2
shower.
more
I just
minutes. Giving 1 or 2 more minutes, and then Thurs, you can go ahead after
I'm
that.
going to go take a shower and then I'll
go
come
ahead,
back
Bebo.
if you guys.
So I completely agree with you, Gary, if the height of the camera is incorrect, right? But the height of the camera was not incorrect. So you got to make sure that the distance and the height are correct when you scale down this model.
But
I don't think anyone disagree. I'm sorry.
It was incorrect, which is why when he took his picture with his camera of his model that he
Hold
said
on, I'm
he
not done.
scaled, the mountains are above the tower. Yes, he did not scale the camera.
I don't think anybody disagrees with if you move the camera up and down, you're gonna get a parallax effect. I don't think anybody disagrees with that.
What?
Because I can literally
Good,
show
then you
you.
should realize the importance of having the camera at proper in the scale model.
Yeah,
If you
so-
don't have the camera proper, the rest of the model isn't going to work properly.
What
It
through
makes
the
it all, you have to have everything scaled.
Jose, I'm gonna drop some. Jose, I'm gonna drop some images in the chat real quick. So I have. Let me should give the one because I did this morning.
Did you scale the camera too, Gary, or no?
No, I used my phone.
Oh, well, you gotta scale the camera
All
according to Gary.
I got
You
it.
see that image?
This is like a basketball court. I got it up.
All right, so I have those two things are two different it's like a water bottle with paper wrapped around it, and I have two of them. They're both in the same distance and they're both at the same height, right?
Right.
Now I'm gonna drop another image. So this kind of goes with what what's his name from yesterday? What was the guy's name? From Jesse?
Yes.
Okay, so now can anybody tell me this next image right here?
Him is still having.
Am I higher or am I lower?
I think you're in the same height.
No, he's went higher. Where his camera's higher.
You higher than the.
Oh wait. Yeah, you're higher than the first object.
Okay, so I'm higher than the first image, right?
The-
So now
the-
here's the next. Here's the next one.
No, you are lower than the first object. The
Now
object-
I'm lower
Yep.
than the first. Now I'm gonna drop one more. Hold on, 1 second, man. Give me a second. Now where am I?
Same height.
No, you're
The beginning.
slightly
The beginning.
slightly higher. But if you notice, the blue wall at the back has not really changed that much to the heads of the people back there. A little bit. They're now about the same level as the blue wall. I mean,
Thurs,
changing
let's get to
it
Bebo
tiny.
point. Let's get to Bebo point, Thurs, please.
So the point is that I am now level with that black line, with the one farther and the one closer.
I agree with that by the look
Right?
of the images.
Anybody disagree with that?
With the
It
top,
looks like
with
you're
the top
higher
of
in the
the black
last
line.
one because the visual cue of the reflection of the fan over to the right, it's spaced further away from that black line in
We're
the
not concerned
foreground.
with the fan.
So that implies that you raised from the last picture to the final picture to have that level of separation. So it looks like you went a little higher with the last one.
Well, the final picture shows the two black lines are level. The top of the two black lines are level with each other.
So
Yeah.
it looks like you got a little higher.
Perfectly. Lemonbird, the top of the two lines, I'm going to zoom it in. Look, the top of the black line, the top of the black lines are aligned with each other. Aligned, yes.
So to
Yes.
align it, it looks like he got higher because the line in the background appears to be lower until he raises an elevation and gets higher to make it look.
Of course,
level.
I had. The point of this is to show that I'm perfectly level with the top of that black line. The
Yes.
camera
Like
and the first one and the second one. I'm perfectly level.
perfectly aligned, yes.
Can you still take picture there? Or?
Well, perfect
sorry?
alignment.
Can you still take picture of them, or you're not there anymore?
No, I'm not there anymore.
Okay.
Well, perfect alignment, gentlemen, may or may not be possible since light rays spread. The light ray that keeps you level, or that you're using to say that you're level with something in the distance, it's going to spread. And so, like a penny in front of a car, your level line will eventually encapsulate a huge amount of scene that's above or below the quote unquote level line. That's why I keep on harping about checking level with a laser beyond the deceptive visual cues, where you have these spreading light rays spreading all over the place and encapsulating parts of the scene that are above and below the level line.
Well, I've got no idea what Lemmer was talking about there. But what I'm looking at is in the distance, the people compared to the blue wall, which is really close to them. Now, if that blue wall was, a mile high and, 8 miles away, it might look the same as this, sort of like small blue painted wall next to people. And that's what I'm saying. If it was a mile high and 8 miles away, it might look the same as that blue wall really close to people. You know what I mean? And basically it just looks like the same height as them.
Well, Tercy, let me cut to the chase because you're not getting the implications of what I'm saying. Basically, you could have a thing that you're level with in the foreground that's level with something in the background that effectively appears to be above or below the thing in the foreground, even though it's level with it, because the light ray from foreground to background and back again is going to spread and V out and encapsulate a huge part of the scene that is above or below the level line. And so
it's going to do that, mate. It's to do with how close they are to the wall.
It's not level. You need to double check it with a laser.
Right. So the last image I posted is when I tilted my camera up. And notice how the two black lines are pretty much still level with each other.
You can see the one in the back dropping just slightly. There's like a hair of distance that I can tell.
Argue about that.
Foreground to the background, I can tell. Right there by the left side of that black line, right when it starts to merge with the one in the background, there appears to be a slight fraction of difference between them as far as I can tell, but I might be flat-charted. I don't know. I'd have to look into that further, but I think I can see a slight difference.
So we can argue with a cat's hair of a difference up or down. But it's pretty much level with each other. Even when I tilt my camera up, because I'm holding the camera with my phone. I mean,
over George's red, water.
Hold on, Lemon.
It'll look like it's a couple stories below the thing in the foreground. But what were you saying?
I'm holding the phone with my hand. So, and then when I tilt my phone down, here's the next image here. It's still in line.
It looks slightly above. I can tell a slight difference. The one in the back is slightly above, just slight.
Again, I'm holding my phone with my hand, so I couldn't get it perfect, but pretty much it's right there.
It's enough for me to go with this level of flatness. This is conspiracy catnip for me. This is more than enough for me. But thank you, sir. Thank you.
So now I got a question and clarification. I think it was yesterday. There was a mention of parallax, and we all know that when we got an object very close to us, if we move just a little bit, it's going to be like a big movement. Like we're going to see, like we blink an eye. If I got this cup in front of me, the thing, I blink, close the right eye and look through my left eye. I close my left eye, look to the right eye. It's the biggest difference. But if this cup was way away, like the house in front of across the street, I close my right and left eye, and there's barely no difference. So yeah, there's a little bit of parallax issue going on because people is doing the observation from very close. So the objects are very close to the camera. It's going to have a slight movement, either left and right and up and down, because the objects are close. But when we're doing a long distance observation, looking something from really far away, there's barely any parallax, factor that we need to account of. Do you agree with me?
So I agree with you. So in the Blackpool Tower example, if that tower was a lot closer, right, then we would see a large amount of parallax when we moved up and down. If we had our camera 50 feet or 100 feet, we would definitely see a lot of parallax. But since that tower is pretty far away and the mountains are farther away, hold on 1 second. Since the tower is far away and the mountains are far away, you're not going to get that much of a parallax when you move your camera up, I don't know, a few feet up and down.
That's what I was saying. If the thing is 8 miles away compared to what's the end of that court? Maybe 30
Like
meters.
90, about
You know
80
what I mean?
feet.
You're going to get more parallax in 30 meters than you're going to get over 8 miles. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Exactly. So I think that's what Gary's going to try and do. He's going to have his camera real close just to two objects, and he's going to move his camera up and down and show and try and show
Well,
how.
that's what I was saying. You can't do that unless you're going to scale the objects you've got on the table. If the mountain 8 miles away is 3,000 feet, and the tower in Blackpool is only 1,000, then and you're like half a mile away from the tower, he would have to actually do calculations to make that that ratio between him, the tower, and then the mountain in the background, in order to it be the same, in relationship to what it would be in the real world. When he says he's not going to scale anything, he's just going to do it on a table, and how the hell do we know that there's any relationship between the sizes of the mountain and the tower and the distance from the camera? If he's not going to do any of that, then there's no point to it, basically.
The problem is Gary is contradicting himself as usual. The entire argument that has been going for a couple of days, which he started, is about the size of the camera. But the demonstration he's going to do is just going to bring it back down to the height of the camera. So that's the only thing he's going to show. He said it multiple times. Oh, if I take my phone and I flip it the other way, the lens is going to be higher and you'll get parallax. Well, no shit. We all know that. His point wasn't that the height was the issue. His point was the size of the camera.
Yeah, and let me guess, he will do it with two objects that are 1 foot and 2 feet away from him, and it will show a lot of parallax.
Yes, because they will probably both of them will be the same size, and therefore you will see a huge amount of parallax rather than being scaled to the mountain and the tower.
What he actually needs to do is he's got a Nikon B500, and what he needs to do is put that side by side with his phone, make sure the center of both lenses are in the same place, and then show that whatever he's looking at has parallax between the two on the vertical, just because of the size of the lens. That's what he should be showing.
But let's face it, he's a flipper. He doesn't know how to do that.
Well,
funny enough, I did just that. I just have to get the pictures off my phone, off my camera. I did the pictures I just showed. I did the same thing with my P900, and they're pretty much the same.
Of course, I mean you could do it with any two cameras, and there's so much contradiction in everything that Gary says because he wants to use the idea, the distance from an object and how it supposedly hides things and so on. And in this argument, he keeps talking about moving things around distance-wise and scaling them. If we go with his argument about the changes in angle, then the camera itself doesn't need to be scaled down. It could just be moved further away. And then the effect would be the same. The angle of light coming into it would be narrower.
I would just like to say, if anybody is sitting in front of a computer, just sit back 3 feet from your computer, stretch your arm out and put a finger straight across, you know what I mean? Horizontal. And then just duck your head up and down and see how much change you can see in, say, the top bar where it says share and, all that stuff on hoses, share, and then you've got, Facebook, Twitter, but just duck your head up and down by an inch or two and you'll see that your finger goes above and below it, you know what I mean? And that's just an inch you're moving your head, you know what I mean? But my God, if you're not going to scale things across 8 miles with a mountain 3,000 odd feet high, adverse to a 1,000-foot tower, and the tower still is bigger than the 3,000-foot mountain, there's got to be something making that mountain shrink. And it's not parallax, and it's not moving your camera, it's the curvature of the Earth.
It is optical on some level. As humble flatties, we're just trying to get to the optical principle that is making something disappear over a flat surface. And people demonstrate the principle at the very least, whatever it's called or whatever, diffraction, refraction, whatever thing it is, by simply getting close to the surface and showing bottom up compression, bottom up disappearance over a flat surface. So I think we're getting closer and closer to the actual flat truth, Tercy.
So,
Well, if
Jose,
you
I
put your
dropped
finger
a.
out in front of you, the screen, your computer screen, and then just duck your head up and down an inch, you'll see how much the screen behind your finger moves, and that's got nothing to do with anything disappearing from the bottom up. Nothing. It's simply to do with the view of what you're looking at.
But we do see a little bit of parallax there, Tercy. Close one eye, holding your finger like straight up, like you're pointing up in front of your face, and close the other eye instead, alternating eyes, and you'll see the finger go with parallax to the left and the right.
Well, I tried not to go. I tried to do up and down because I don't want you to be going into that stereoscopic shit, because that's all fucking crap. That's not what we're talking about when we're looking across the earth. We're looking up and down, not left to right.
Okay, then just turn your head sideways and you have the same stereoscopic, whatever the hell you want to call it, effect. Eventually, both of these two zones will merge so much you're not going to get a resolvable image from one eye to the other, from one zone to the other, up, down, left, right, whatever. Eventually, they're just going to smush together and become unresolvable. That's your horizon. That's your resolvability. That's the flat Earth right there. It's the same freaking thing.
So, Jose,
I changed my screen and I am screen sharing on pause. A clip from Earth is Live is 49 seconds and it's going to be playing on a loop. It's on screen right now.
So another cool thing I did, I took my auto level over to the basketball court, and I got the crosshairs right at the top of the bottom black line. And the other thing in the background, it's the bottom black line is at the same exact height. But as you can see when you watch the video, the farther one is a little bit higher. Are you screen sharing that now, Jose? Let's see. Look at it.
Yeah, I did see what you were showing. Jose's whipping the other thing he had.
Yeah, it's a little bit lower. I'm sorry. So, can anybody tell me what's going on?
Looks like you're at a street corner somewhere, trying to get.
No, I'm on the same. Nope, I'm in the same basketball court.
Oh, I see another screen share. Let me go to the other screen share.
All right, sorry, I have to step away from 1 second. All right, I'm still screen sharing right there, right? Yep. It's been repeat. I didn't even see the whole thing. I had to go and take care of one of my dogs.
So basically, what I'm showing is that this basketball court has slight curvature.
It's slow.
The closer one is higher than the farther one.
Yeah, but what you'll probably find is basketball courts are like some old dance halls. They're sprung floors. They've got springs under them, and they're not all level because they need to be able to bounce. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah, that's the point. That's the point, because a lot of flat earthers like to say that certain surfaces are perfectly flat. So when we see this effect, we know
because we need them not to be flat in order to last longer and not need so much repair to them. Yeah.
What camera were you using? Were you using a small camera, a tiny camera, or a giant camera?
My phone with a very, very small lens.
Right. When they say small camera, do they mean lens or the diameter of the glass, the lens or something? What? I still so confused on what they mean. Let me screen share. Easy, Terz. You gotta relax, man. If I'm talking,
sorry, mate. I thought you were asking a question.
Shut the fuck up. You cannot just go through it and push through with what you have to say, like you intend every time to say. You gotta relax, man. I see that the Stingray is sharing his camera. I'm gonna click on it because I am curious about what he's showing. You are on screen. You want to tell us what are we looking at? Like a car dash or something? You're muted, just in case. Maybe, yeah. Oh, you're driving. Okay, that's cool. I just realized flirting and driving. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, if you asked Gary what it is that he's looking for a smaller aperture, a total light, total size for the amount or for what's collecting the light.
Well, I did notice how Eartha's light zoomed in and zoomed out. And the moment he zoomed to the thing in the further background, the thing in the foreground that he was level with appeared to, via parallax, no longer be level. Now it became blurrier in the foreground and out of focus, but there was more white separating the level line of his reticle crosshair. Upon zooming to the thing in the background, I did notice. So this zoom thing does appear to slightly change the aspect ratio of what's above or below or what's level with, the crosshair, depending on what you're zooming to as well. So it looks like perspective is a hell of a drug, gentlemen, making things appear above or below things that they should or should not in the foreground versus the background as well.
I don't think that's zoom.
It has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that's not zoom, that's focus. And what you're seeing when you are looking at the white or dark areas. Oops, I was getting there. The light or dark areas, as you see them when you're zooming in and out or focusing in and out, you messed me up, Lemon, is bokeh is a term, B-O-K-E-H, you should probably look into. Let me see who called.
So it looks like we may have enough flat reasons to think that it's flat, and at best something optical converging toward, at the very least, the level of the eyes of the observer, making a horizon, a boundary condition form between the sky and the ground that is not a hump of Earth curvature, simply something optical where two zones of vision and light appear to meet and form more
cause reasons.
The reason, so what is your contention with the fact that the reason that the one in the foreground appears lower than the one, the one in the background appears lower than the one in the foreground in my little video?
Obviously, because light rays spread. Light rays are going to spread like a triangle or like a pie slice. So you could have something that's not the foreground or the background, but depending on which portion of that pie slice, further up or further down you aim at, it may appear above or below something that is actually level with in the foreground. The spreading.
So it's not. So you don't think it's because the basketball court is not perfectly flat?
No, I'd say the overarching cause is that light spreads, and even if you try to have the most perfect leveling, light is going to spread from the point source or whatever. And you could point to the top of that spreading light ray, the bottom of that spreading light ray, and you could have something that is level with in the foreground that appears to be above and or below something that's in the foreground because of even that.
So then
the light ray doesn't spread out. The ray is defining the point that makes contact, the part that you see. The light source may emit a wave which spreads out in a circular fashion, but the point that you see is classed as a line, just the same way as you would have the radius of a circle or something like that, or ripples traveling through water, and then you put something in the way of the ripples wherever the ripple makes contact. So if you have two objects in alignment, the direction that you're going to see that is the same. It isn't spreading out in some big wedge and randomly contacting at different points.
Well, as far as I can see, light does spread. And so we tend to be thinking about this as lines of light, like something you draw on a paper, like a line you draw on paper that just, keeps its, thin, pencil form and doesn't spread from the source. That's a little inaccurate. As far as we know, light spreads. And so you
No,
could have a level
no,
line
I
of
didn't
light
say light
that spreads
doesn't
from the
spread. It
source.
doesn't spread the way
Hold on,
you're
Alkay. Hold
saying
on,
it
Alkay.
spreads.
Alkay, I'm sorry. I'm
Background.
sorry. Alkay, he was almost done.
I'm sorry. It's just that he's completely ignored the
Alkay, I'm
fucking thing
sorry.
you said.
Alkay. Yeah, I had to serve him. I'm sorry. We need to let Lemon Bird finish and then you go.
Okay, if you disagree with what I'm saying and it's wrong, that's fine. But I need time to think and get out my response, whether it's right or wrong. I would really prefer it if you let me finish. I will eventually give over the mic. I will not take all day. Just let me freaking finish, and I'll extend you the same courtesy so that you don't get frustrated and can think. Anyway, as far as we know, light ray spread. So you can have a level light ray that goes from the top of the object to something that's level within the background. These light rays are going to spread like a triangle, like a pie slice, and you could incidentally be pointing at the top or the bottom of the light ray that is spread like a big triangle pie slice, and make it look like something is higher or lower in the background when it's actually level with the thing in the foreground. I give the floor.
Well, I mean, I just already addressed it, and all you've done is repeat yourself. That's the problem. That's why I interrupted. It's because you're just repeating the same thing, which is incorrect. You're conflating two different ideas. You're talking about the way light can be seen from all different directions because it spreads out from its source, so to speak. But the point that you observe is treated as a ray. That is exactly what I said a minute ago. The ray, as you call it, does not spread out. The ray describes the straight line from you to the point in the object you can see. And if there are two objects in alignment, then that line is the same one. You don't have this magic effect where the light from the rearward object spreads out further and therefore can somehow contact you at a different level. It doesn't work like that. Not if they're in a line with each other.
I got a comment. I need to read. Just before you go really far, super chat comment by John Watson for £5 super chat. Thank you very much, John. Appreciate that. And this is looks like a citation or quote. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Exodus 20:16. Do any religious participants have anything to say about that? Thank you very much, John Watson.
So Lemon, you basically says this instrument is useless. We can't use it because I don't know if it below something. It's not that it's not level. It's just light that spreads. How do we know when it's level or when it's not?
A laser, and what the venerable Mr. Alkay said appears to what was that?
A laser does the same thing.
They don't have
light
laser.
spreads.
So, so no laser. This instrument, specifically this instrument, auto level, is useless. You can't use it.
All right, I got my camera on. Holy shit, this phone got 4 little cameras. But do you think will make any difference if I take a picture with these two different cameras? We got the P900 right here, and we got a cell phone right here, so we can see the lens of the P900 and the lens of the camera. These are 4 cameras because it does like a 360, but it's just one of those is representative of one of the cameras of the phone. What is that? Oh, it's a light. What do you think? So if I just align, if I want to take a picture of a plant, and I line up the center of the cell phone camera to the center of the little pot, I take a picture and then I grab the P900 and I align the center of the lens to the center of the pot and I take a picture. Do you think will make a big difference? Will make any difference whatsoever?
I suspect it would make a slight difference. Whether we notice it or not, I don't know. But I think it would make a slight difference. I don't know. Anybody else?
Because that was the discussion that we were having, that for Gary, a scaled model of the Blackpool Tower observation is invalid to him. Why? He say because of the camera is too big. It wasn't center aligned. The camera was in different height, he say. Even though we tried to explain it 75 times that the center of the lens of the camera was to the object in question at the same height. Let's say he was in the Blackpool Tower, the observer height was this high above from the tower. The center of this camera was at this height from the small scale tower. It's a valid test for a scale model. put the center of the camera. It doesn't matter how much extra the lens has above or below or to the sides. The center of the lens is what counts there. Do you agree, disagree, or you got any contention?
I think this stuff is a bit more complicated than we've been led to believe. I mean, the light thought of as this ray spreads. So the question is how it's going to spread from point source to the endpoint. Al-K tried to talk about, this seemingly, as far as I could interpret, this perfect ray that has nothing to do with the spread of the light. If these points that we're drawing and these abstract points that we're drawing, Mr. K, do not match the actual activity of the light, which, is represented by the light ray spreading, then we have these perfect points and lines that are abstractions that don't match reality. So to match the activity of light as we actually see it spread from the source, we would need to have some sort of abstraction of the way light behaves with all these points, Mr. K, that acknowledge the fact that light spreads from the source and that these perfect points and these perfect lines that we're talking about don't actually quite match reality in that way. There's parallax, there's the thickness of the lens. It has to go through the lens, spread through the lens, refract through the lens, and this can lead to different deceptive parallax effects right there over a flat plane.
You're conflating different ideas again. More importantly, if you're denying the basic principle of what I'm talking about, where it's the line back to the point on the object that emits the light, then you are denying perspective. That is the underlying mechanics, if you like, of perspective itself. It's the reason why things look like they reduce in size at distance, and that you can look at that and kind of measure the rate at which it does it. There's a reason for that. But you're conflating the direction that a light ray travels from an object in its basic instance with things that can happen to the light on the way to your eye, such as refraction. There's two different things, but the point is that even you have to rely on perspective. Your entire theory about 6-foot observer and horizons forming in your eye is based on the idea that everything converges towards the optical axis. And if two objects are aligned with the optical axis, they will be in center frame of the image that you can see as a result. And if you say otherwise, then you are denying the very thing that you claim.
Well, the thing is, since light rays spread, we're missing a key factor here. That optical axis would be based off of light rays being like a line you draw on paper that don't spread. That ignores the actual activity of light, which tends to spread from the point source. So we have a slight fallacy there, and our principles are going to be slightly off from there. From the focal point, you're going to get spread, in front of and behind the focal point, whatever it is. And you're going to get weird ratios and weird activity from in front of and behind the focal point. And so at that point, something that's level in the background could appear to dip below something that's in the foreground because of the spread of light.
Lemon, I think you're mistaken.
Let's say you had a record player.
Just a second.
Sorry,
I think you're mistaken. Beam with the ray.
What did you say, Chaiki?
Beam, the beam spread, the ray doesn't.
Right. And so up to the focal point, you're going to get different ratios in front of and behind the focal point. Because you have a focal point with a bottle. A bottle has two different holes, one at the top where the liquid comes out and one at the bottom that's the base of the bottle, say. When you look through the bottle, past the focal point, it could make the small opening look bigger than the base, which is actually physically larger than the small opening of the bottle if you're past the focal point. If you take that bottle to the focal point, you're going to get a reversal of size, where finally the small opening will look smaller than the bigger base and be in proper ratio. So the focal point of the light can make things reverse, even with these observations. Something that's level in the foreground can dip above or below something it's level with in the foreground because of the way the light spreads, in front of and behind the focal point, whatever it is. And so I think this stuff can get really hairy, especially with the horizon over a flat plane.
All right,
What you just described wasn't the focal point.
I am sharing the screen that I'm sharing. I took a picture just by hand, trying to align the P900 to the center of this little pot right here, which it looks very dark. I'm sharing the screen. And then I did the same with the phone. It's just the different lighting. Actually, the phone picture looks beautiful, a lot better than the P900 dark. It looks off. I didn't know if it was lined up correctly, but I don't think it will make a big difference. I'm gonna try again in a minute. So I took a picture from facing the other way, so we're not against the light, and see. I'll try to put it in an actual height that the center of the lens will be pointing at a specific something. The next.
Yeah, set the camera like on your chair
Yeah.
or something.
I'm gonna have to, yeah.
Uh,
I don't think
Lemon,
it will make
you-
any difference. Sorry, okay, go ahead.
Sorry. The situation you just described it's not a response to what we were talking about, because you aren't talking about the center of the lens. You're talking about light that's hitting the outer parts of your eye in a circle, basically, because you're looking through the ends of a bottle, and in a smaller circle around the center of the eye, not the actual center of the eye. What you could do to change your analogy so it's accurate to what we're trying to say is put crosshair over each end of the bottle, and it doesn't matter what size the aperture is. If they're aligned properly, those crosshairs will completely overlap perfectly. You won't see one shifted up or down or left or right or whatever. One will completely cover the other in perfect alignment, dead on center.
Just like the point in front of the car, the center line of your lens or whatever you're trying to focus can cover over huge amounts of visual area up and down from that center line, that focal point, whatever you're talking about. And so we're going to need to check this visual behavior that we think is level over a flat plane with a laser.
Why do you keep talking about lasers, Lemon?
Because they're shaped collimated light that keeps its shape for long distances.
No, it doesn't.
Are
keep its shape.
lasers
And you've been
are
told
lasers
this
not?
many times. It spreads in a cone and it also refracts. So it's no
That
different
can
from
be
any other
calculated.
light.
It still gives us a very straight standard that can be calculated.
Hey, I got.
Let me
Hold
ask you a
on. I got it. I'm gonna take a series of pictures of something different. Let me show you what. Because just looking through the lens of my camera, I gotta take a few pictures, right? So I'm gonna try to steady right here. I'm gonna take a picture, the little something right in front of me. Then I'm gonna tilt the camera up, and then I'm gonna tilt the camera down, and I see if it will make any difference. Even though this is close, 7-8 foot in front of me, the door. I'm gonna take a picture of the little bar dividing the door. Picture right there. We're gonna use that as the horizon. I'm gonna tilt the camera very high up, take a second picture, and we're gonna tilt the camera very way down, and we're gonna take a picture. Now I'm gonna upload those 3 pictures and use the center frame and see if the objects in the background, which is super close, parallax should make a big difference, you know? It doesn't even do shit, not even from close. How do you think that tilting the camera slightly above or slightly below is going to make a difference on an object in the background to go up or down the blockage that it has? It makes no fucking sense. Just looking with your own eyes, you can see that doesn't happen. Can you get that idea, Lemon? That tilting a camera up or down will make any difference on an object if it's already blocked or hidden behind something.
With all of this parallax, this perspective, these light rays spreading, the main thing that I take away from this is that we need to check what appears level through the theodolite, through the camera, through the eye even, with a laser, something that keeps its shape as collimated light, and appears to travel more or less straight and true from origin to source, giving you a level over long distances that is much more appreciable than what's shown to the eyes in this sort of deceptive visual fashion.
Okay, Lemon, let me ask you a question. Could the crosshairs, excuse me, Could the crosshairs of a auto level or theodolite act as a laser?
No, because it'll
Why don't
just
you
be
think so?
trying to get a visual cue that may be deceptive. The things that make the visual cue deceptive and not quite true to what we'd like to be represented in reality, B-ball appears to be the distance off of the surface and the way that light spreads and focuses on the eye.
So let me if I have a weapon, right, that has a laser and a crosshair, and I put the dot of the laser right in the center of the crosshairs, would that not be the same?
You would have to align the crosshair to whatever the laser is presenting. Ideally, the crosshair, the laser would give you a laser better than the crosshair on its own because of deceptive visual cues.
So what if I align the laser with the crosshair, then remove the laser? Is my bullet not going to hit in the same spot?
As long as you keep it aligned to that point, then you'd have a pretty good level. But if you try to level without that laser, you're going to get deceptive visual cues and be off. So I guess the experiment would be trying to level without a laser crosshair and trying to level with the laser and the crosshair and see if there's an error between the two scenarios.
So you don't think I'd be able to get a straight line using just crosshairs?
Especially over long distances, you need to double check it with a laser.
All right, can I do a point?
Go
ahead.
The thing is that the crosshairs are not going to be affected by refraction, but the laser is going to be affected by refraction.
But that's slightly tautological. The crosshair is close to the lens, on the lens itself, and you're not shooting it effectively over long distances with, refraction error and stuff like that. So that's, kind of tautological and meaningless. Of course, the crosshair, whatever that's right next to the lens and the freaking instrument isn't going to change. It's just going to be right there in the instrument and not have to go through air and be refracted. But over long distances, to get past the deceptive visual cues of the crosshair and where, if anywhere, it's pointing, especially over long distances, you would need to overcome that with a laser, unfortunately, or something like that.
Moving on. I need 1 minute just to show these 3 pictures that I took, and then Stingray is screen sharing. Stingray's screen will go up. I am sharing my screen, which you have first picture right here, right? Lemonbird, anybody is watching my screen share, I'll appreciate Lemonbird. You are interested in what you think about what I'm going to share now. Let me know when you see the image that I got up. This is the fourth wall that I just broke on my place right here.
Oh, no.
So, okay, right? So I got this right here. You see my settings. I got my laptop streaming right here. My P900 that I just showed, right? So let's use this like divided as a center, like a measuring stick, right? I took a picture which it was kind of closer to the center of the camera. So we see right here the distance between this and the height of this the tire of this car or something.
The rim.
The rim, right? Yeah. All right. Let's go to the second image. Is when I tilted the camera up way high. And remember, this is close from close. This door is like maybe 7 to 8 feet away from me. And now this is the same. Let's focus in this spot. I'm gonna click in here. Let me click on this one too over here. And see, so this is when the camera is center. This second one is when the camera is what was it? Pointing, yeah, the horizon pointing upward. I'm gonna zoom in here. And then we're gonna put the other one where the third one will be where the camera is pointing downward. And it's like very significant pointing, like this is really close to that. We're gonna
is
click
this your
here.
P900 or
No, this is just the phone. The phone. So we got this one right here, center. This one is pointing up, and this one is pointing down. See the slight difference? Yes.
Slight difference.
So the lens might be in a slightly different position.
The lens is in a different position. Jose, if you redid it by lining up 2 known points, then you'll be able to demonstrate it doesn't make a difference. So look at the leg of your tripod and look at the intersection of your tripod leg like that up with the top of the fence in each shot, and there will be no difference.
All right. Also, I should do it with the P900 in the tripod. Take a picture center. Just tilt the camera up, not moving the tripod or nothing. Just the lens.
No, sorry. So no, Jose. You see what you've got on screen right now.
Right.
You see you've got the tripod leg on the right.
Okay.
Right. That kink in the tripod leg up the top where it changes. Yeah. Line that kink up with the fence.
This. Okay.
That will always intersect the car at exactly the same point, no matter where you're looking, because despite what flat earthers might think, a straight line is a straight line.
Beautiful. Okay. I see. Yeah. You see, so this is ideas for people to do simple type of tests and demonstrations with cameras and
you did it
focal
wrong.
lengths and shit like that. I did it wrong. I just did something and I did it wrong.
No, all you did was tilted your camera up and tilted it down.
Yeah.
You
All
have
I
to
did was
literally raise it up a little bit vertically and drop it down a little vertically while keeping it straight forward.
By me grabbing the camera. By me grabbing the cell phone camera here live in real time, taking 3 pictures, uploading them, and sharing them over here, and give my thoughts is wrong. I did it wrong, Gary.
Yeah, you did it wrong. Did you listen to what I said or not? You didn't change the elevation of your camera. You simply tilted it up or down.
Nobody disagrees with it's going to move.
The elevation is the problem with the Blackpool Tower. You have to have the proper scaling with the elevation part of the camera. B-Ball, you're interrupting me. Could you please wait a minute, B-Ball?
All right, let him finish. Go ahead, Gary. Sorry.
Okay, so you have to elevate the camera. You just keep it leveled straight forward. At the same thing, get your camera leveled where you want it. Now raise it up vertically while keeping it pointing straight forward. Lower it down a little bit, keeping it straight forward. That's the problem with the Blackpool Tower. He can't get the camera low enough. The lens is too big. Get the camera low enough, which is why he has to scale the whole dang thing.
I need to say this. They interrupted me. I need to say this. Did I even say that I was trying to do a test to prove somebody right or wrong, to prove Bearded Devil in this sense, where God is attempting to tell that I did it wrong because I didn't do it like Bearded Devil did or didn't do? I didn't do that. I didn't say that. I said I'm gonna do this test just because I just fucking want to. I didn't say I wanted to replicate anybody or prove anybody right or wrong. I'm just doing a thing. You cannot do a thing wrong when it's a thing that you're doing. And I'm doing it right now. I took pictures, I presented them, and I talked about it. How is that wrong? And that's a rhetorical question. Before you answer it, I'm going to read a super chat by John Watson for £5. Why doesn't Lemon understand that laser light is the same as all other lights and is subject to refraction in exactly the same way? I'm going to present the Stingray screen. Lemon, you want to answer that? Stingray, your screen will be up in 5 seconds.
Wait, before that, I want to ask Gary. So the center of the camera.
Hi, Chai, no, I won't allow it. That's a super chat for Lemon, and you want to go back to the topic to lose the super chat.
Sorry.
Lemonberg, go ahead.
Just as far as I can tell, a laser will burn out your eye. Regular illumination doesn't do that. So we have a bit of a fallacy of composition here or whatever, where it's true in part but not true in the whole. Laser light is not like regular light in that it appears to be concentrated, collimated light that tends to keep its shape, whereas regular illumination is a general wash that doesn't burn out the eye and has slight differences. But what were you saying, Mr. Chaiki?
Regular light can burn your eye too.
No. Gary, so you say the center of the camera is not important? There's no relevance? You won't mention it again?
I don't understand what your question is.
The center, where the center of the camera is pointing is irrelevant.
No, I'm talking about...
No,
okay,
that's what I'm asking.
Chaiki, let me answer my
that's
way,
what I'm
not
asking.
your
Don't
way,
tell
what
me
you
what
want.
you want to tell me.
Okay, forget it, Chaiki. Goodbye.
Don't answer.
I won't talk to Chaiki if he can't wait for the answer. And he doesn't
no,
like
the
it.
answer,
So he
the answer
interrupts.
is it's
No, thank you.
relevant or irrelevant, Gary. That's the answer.
Then just ask the question, let them
I
answer
did.
so that you don't drive them crazy and don't frustrate them. Then address what they did or didn't answer after their full response. Thank you, Chucky.
He's driving me crazy. I'm asking a simple question. Is where the camera pointing at, hence its center, is in any relevant to what we see?
Well, you can point the camera here, there, or wherever, Chucky, but specifically when we're talking about where the horizon tends to form over the flat plane, you're going to get the horizon forming wherever the parallel lines are intersecting. And that's going to tend to be going over the flat level ground surface. So you can point
Pretty sure that question was for Gary.
Up, down, left, or right.
So you say the camera can point anywhere. It doesn't need to be the center, Lemon. That's what you say?
You could point it off to some weird angle, but unless the parallel lines are going where you're pointing the camera, you're not going to get a horizon forming over in that direction. You need to point it where the parallel lines are going, and that's over the surface.
We got a super chat. We got a super chat, and then Stingray is being on queue waiting for a little while. Angry Dog for the 4.99 euros. Thank you, Angry Dog. Appreciate that. But it's a laser, John. It's way cooler than ordinary light. But go ahead, Lemon, stare into the sun for a few minutes. I dare you. Shout out to Angry Dog. Thank you. That was a good troll comment. I appreciate that. The Stingray. Wait, there's oh, no, not yet, man. I'm sorry. A little too late. We have Stingray on queue for like the past minutes. Go ahead, Stingray.
So
I like the drawing.
Yeah, I want to. Well, it's two things to say to Lemon. One, don't stare into the sun, because the only thing that differs between the red light out of a laser and the red light in the atmosphere is intensity. It's the only thing. But I just want to address the light spread statement. That seems like a really weird statement. That's like Gary's perspective. Obviously, light spreads, or else we wouldn't see shit. So the interesting thing that you keep saying is light spreads outwards, so we don't know where something is really. Well, that's not exactly true, Lemon. Light does spread outwards, but every photon that leaves an object that doesn't hit my eye, I don't see. And guess what? For short distances, and even long ones, give or take a little bit of refraction, which is a fraction of a degree perturbation, I'm only interested in the photon that hit my eye and the apparent location. And what I have here is I have an object on the right that emits light. Well, it doesn't emit light. Light bounces off it. It reflects light. But the only photon that hits the camera in the pixel that I want is along this line. Do you agree or disagree with this diagram, Lemon? Okay, yes.
We got to look into it, Stingray. We got to look into it. That's
Ironic because on Tuesday, photons.
Yeah, let's get Bro Alan. Welcome. What's up, brother? Thurs, go ahead, man.
I was just going to say, I mean, Yellowbird goes on about this laser thing, but the fact is, it depends on the amount of output it's given. We have got lasers that you can buy, which are okay to use. You can shine with somebody's eye, and they don't blind you. The early laser pens that people had could possibly blind you, and that's why they were made illegal in Britain. And so it's about the energy output of the laser that matters. It's not just about that it's a concentrated light. It's about how much energy it's putting out and how much damage it would do to your retinas and stuff. And we have lasers which are legal because they won't blind you.
I want to narrate what's going on here. That was a freehand drawn line, and then another line, then a little stick like a cross, then a little stick like a cross. Then now we're drawing a teepee, Indian teepee, and one in the bottom, a bigger Indian teepee in the right, and a bigger in the bottom. Go ahead.
That's like the mountains or something. I don't know, or Hershey Kisses.
So, you're back, Lemon. Jesus. Wait a minute. So, did you see what I did previously? This light spreads diagram, right? So I want to know if you disagree with this diagram in the fact that the only thing the camera is going to see is the light that travels from the object to the camera. And the fact that light reflects omnidirectionally off the object from other light sources is utterly irrelevant to anything other than the direction of this line here, because this is what the camera sees.
I would agree with everything in that diagram, except that dotted line also represents something that's going to spread from the source too. It's going to be like a triangle or like a pie slice of spreading light. And you could go to the top of that pie slice, the bottom of that pie slice, even within that dotted line, and get, you know, a horizon, parallax effects or whatever, where something that's level with something in the foreground appears deceptively to be above or below something in the background.
Okay, so let's think of it this way. That is part of your pie slice there, right? Light is coming off in all of those directions. But the only thing that hits the camera is that one.
And that is a spreading pie slice ray in and of itself as well.
But yes, except the smallest angle reaches that singular pixel in near enough a straight line.
But there's a lot that could be represented in that spread. A whole lot of object that could be above or below that idealized geometric line. That's all that I'm trying to say over a flat plane. There's so much compressed into that line with enough distance, you can't really tell what's actually above or below anything without a laser or some sort of straight leveling tool to help double check these deceptive visual cues.
Just because I'm a little bit inept, can you tell me the difference between a red laser and the red color in our atmosphere?
The red laser is much more collimated, higher energy, concentrated light. It could burn your eye out. A red color would just be a much more gentle wash of illumination.
No, it's not how it works.
One would put your eye out more than the other, essentially.
Well, power has nothing to do with it. You need to talk about collimation. The fact that your handheld lasers that you're using for these experiments are not very well collimated.
Yeah,
well, it's a beam that keeps its shape without spreading as much as the gentle wash of illumination.
This is exactly what you are saying is the problem with the camera. It's not. It's exactly the problem with your laser. The fact that it spreads out. If you take your handheld laser and shine it across the street, you'll see it's about the size of a basketball. Imagine what it's like over like 30 miles.
And that's why we use it to double check our leveling.
The problem is that it's not level. It's not collimated.
More or less straight and true and help us double check leveling.
It's not collimated, Lemon. You guys are using cheap lasers. You're not using $50,000 collimated lasers that they use to like shine at the moon and stuff.
I think you should mention the word focus here and collimated, and then they might understand what you're saying.
Yeah, focus, the same thing. It's the fancy words. What it means is
we are humble lay people on a budget. We're just trying to prove the Earth is flat with the tools that are economical that we have at hand. We don't need to spend $50,000 freaking dollars to prove that the Earth is flat. That is a waste of money, monumentally.
But don't do it.
Because the laser you have spreads too quickly. You cannot make any sort of conclusion.
Okay, this is what I'm attempting to read. I have created a poll on YouTube expecting to have 20 or 30 votes at least with 43 people watching. To everybody watching, please click on the poll that I just put up and just vote. The poll says, Gary is too small camera as Lemon is. And then we have 4 options: to ether, to whatever, to deception, or please vote. Very important. I needed to say that. We're not going to be here for too long, maybe another 15 or 20 minutes, and then we'll do a round of final thoughts.
Yeah, I want to go and watch Jaws with my mum.
Lemon or Gary, can you find a flat earther to disagree with the globe model in predicting the path of the sun, the orientation of the moon, the actual coverage of the Terminator line? All of these just work out, right? And you agree with them on a rotating ball, right?
And now I'm going to do the shout out to thank you everybody for the super chats. I hope I didn't miss any. I'm going to read this last one really quick because I think the cows washed out what I was saying, the cows mooing and the cowbell. But it's a laser. Angry Dog was telling John, it's a laser. It's way cooler than ordinary light. But go ahead, Lemon, stare into the sun for a few minutes. I dare you. And anybody have hit me up on the PayPal yet? I was kind of opened it up. I said, like, yeah, I might have lots and lots of money. Lots of money that I don't have right now, but I guess we haven't get any. It's all good. Appreciate it. Been fun. Go ahead, Bill.
So, Stingray, you could possibly ask Lemon that question, but you can't ask Gary questions like that because as soon as you talk about something other than what he normally talks about, then he's not gonna respond.
Well, let's try to listen to one another. I mean, do I find the globe an abhorrent falsehood now that makes me less liable to listen to people just like they're less liable to listen to flatties? Sure. But let's listen to each other and be like, okay, here's how your response about the globe or flat or whatever does or doesn't address what I'm talking about after I've let you speak and after we've had a nice little peaceful exchange after giving up the mic or whatever.
Lemon, here's how your flat earth disagrees with reality. Nothing you say is true. Everything you think is false.
That doesn't inform the discussion by telling me what about it is wrong, though. That's not informative.
Everything, Lemon. You say nothing wrong.
Big shout out to Angry Dog. He hit me up again with another 199 euro super chat. Anyway, thanks, JG. Good show. Hey, I appreciate it.
Lemon, can you see my screen? 2 seconds.
I'll share you for the audience. Hopefully, Lemon can click and join your screen too, man. Go ahead. I'm on mute. I'm on mute.
Oh, Lemon, can you see my screen, bud?
He's probably sorting it out and trying to watch it.
I see the globe.
Well, yeah, it's just a ball, really, with a map on it at the size that people say the planet is, and with the sun at the distance that people say the sun is. I'd love to find a problem with this, but every time I just rotate this ball once, approximately every 24 hours, it kind of just exactly predicts where the sun's going to be, where the terminator line's going to be. And surprisingly enough, when I put the moon in there as well, and it is actually in there, but I could switch to it. But when I put the moon in there, and the star trails, all those match up. But interestingly, we can do this right now as well, Lemon. You can tell me what orientation the moon is, and I can set it, and I can show you the different orientation as predicted by a ball, and show you that it matches reality. Now, as hard as anybody's tried, no one, not one single person, has ever demonstrated this on a flat Earth.
Well, you'd only need the ball, if at all, to explain why you can't see the sun beyond the horizon, because supposedly it goes beyond the hump of Earth curvature. But we can just have a counter explanation of perspective and compressed viewing angle over the flat surface, making the sun effigy unresolvable and deceptively appear.
So when you say
So we would just simply have a different explanation for the same phenomenon in any sort of model that we try to generate.
So just one little correction there. The sun doesn't go over the horizon. The Earth rotates. The sun stayed exactly where it was. And all I need to do is rotate this sphere and everything works. Now, what you're saying to me doesn't actually work on a flat Earth, because people in Australia see a different position of the sun to what someone would see in South Africa or even here in Great Britain. So none of it matches up on a flat Earth. However, if I just rotate a ball, everything works. Is that not a little bit suspicious to you?
The only question is what's rotating? The moving mobile Earth or the sun over a flat surface? It appears that the sun is moving over a flat surface, and perspective eventually makes the ceiling appear to merge with the ground along with the sun, which is in the ceiling at the same more or less constant elevation. It's just a different explanation for the same thing. And that's the trick about models. Several models with several different underlying explanations can model more or less the same thing.
Stingray, very quickly. Hold on. Stingray, very quickly. Is you're gonna address him. I just want to thank Thurs for sending me $12 on PayPal, and that's to fix my camera, like resize it and shit. Thank you, Thurs. I appreciate the 12. Go ahead, Stingray.
So the issue, Lemon, is it's very easy to use words, incredibly easy to say, well, it just works on a flat, motionless, beautiful plane. Except it doesn't. And if you actually try and make it work, you realize it just doesn't. Not only because the sun would never reach the horizon at any kind of plausible altitude, not only because, well, hang about, Australia would see the sun in a different location than, rising and setting, and it wouldn't match up with anywhere else on the planet. Nowhere would. Not only that, but we can actually measure the energy output from the sun and realize that it's pretty much constant. This is not an energy or light source that is moving relative to us to any discernible degree. But all of that is irrelevant when I simply place the sun a long way away and rotate a sphere. I don't need to invent things. Now, I've got a flat Earth model here. The sun, I cannot put in any location that would match up with reality for more than one observer. And rotating round, it passing over this beautiful flat Earth, doesn't create any motion that is discernible here on Earth that matches reality. It just does not work. And I challenge anybody to show me that it does.
It doesn't work with your deflected view of perspective over a flat plane. We're essentially talking about compressed viewing angle, eventually making the sky appear to merge with the ground, including the sun that's in it. You see something similar with a rainbow. A rainbow is a circle that is actually suspended above the ground if you get high enough in an airplane to get above it and see it from above. But when you get close to the ground, all of a sudden it's cut off like an arch, like part of the arch appears deceptively to be going above and below the ground. You have everything you need right there. The circle of the rainbow is just like the circle of the sun and moon in your diagram there. It's just cut off early, or appears to be cut off early, because you're too close to the flat surface. It's the same thing.
Well, that's not true. That is not true. If you spray water in the air above a camera and shoot towards the sun, you will see a circle of a rainbow. From your deck in the back of your garden, you will see a circle.
And if you get close to the ground, that same arch will appear to be cut off by the surface that you're standing on. It's the same freaking thing.
Let me just address.
Push through it, man. You guys think it.
Right, I just want to address exactly what Lemon just said, rather than getting lost here. Lemon, you're describing a perspective that's unknown to anybody in mathematics or geometry. So let's just put that to the side for 2 very simple seconds. Is it fair for me to say that if this sun rotating around this beautiful flat Earth is at a constant speed and makes 1 revolution every 24 hours, is that fair to say that's what happens, correct?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so is it fair to say that the angular velocity in Australia will change? Because when the sun comes close to Australia, a lot further than it would be, let's say, out in the eastern part of the Philippines or west out near India, at the center point, it's going to be going faster. Is that correct?
Hold on, John Watson. John Watson got a message. John Watson got a message with £5 super chat. Just to remind you, Lemon, that's from John Watson earlier. And I quote, "Thou shalt not bear false witness." Thank you, John Watson. Go ahead, Lemon.
Yes, the Globers are unknowingly bearing false witness about the flat land that we're on. They don't realize how perspective and compressed viewing angle can make an object deceptively appear to be cut off bottom first. But we'll
about Stingray, yeah. About Stingray, go ahead.
Right, yeah, so Lemon, just to recap on my question then. So the sun is going a constant speed velocity in a circular fashion for reasons around the flat, beautiful disk. And it's cyclic, and it doesn't change speed. But as if I'm on the ground,
it didn't change speed. I hate to interrupt you since you're already on a track, but it would have to go faster toward the outer perimeter or change speed at the very least.
So when you say
During
the
the
outer
day.
perimeter, it's at the furthest. It's at the furthest perimeter that it would be now. Are you telling me? Yes, it would. It does go quicker, but I'm on about in 24 hours, not through a year. I get that.
Oh, okay. Well, it just goes the same 24 hours, just faster toward the outer perimeter because it has more distance to cover.
Right, that's awesome. Now we can come up with ways to test this because there are certain logical steps we can take. If everything we've just asserted is true, someone stood in Sydney, Australia through the middle of the day would experience an angular velocity of the sun greater than at the extents of the morning and the evening, because it has to based on the geometry. So someone in Australia would experience the sun accelerating towards them and being the fastest it can be when it's the closest it can be, and then it would slowly get slower as it went away in the angles to the sun through the day. So the angular velocity apparent to the individual on the surface of the earth. So we can go out and test this, except there's a problem. That's not what we see.
So you're saying somebody has tested this or not?
Well, I'm saying I've gone out. I have actually tested. Well, I haven't tested this, but I've measured the 15 degrees constant, and it is. The 15 degrees
It would still be the same 15 degrees. It would just be faster for the same 15 degrees or more distance for the same 15 degrees as you go toward the outer perimeter. That's all.
No, so
15 degrees of more distance as you go further out toward the outer part of the pie slice from the center outward.
No, so someone in Australia and certainly in the United Kingdom, I'll show you this in a second, wouldn't experience that on the ground. I'll show you what they'd experience.
In your idealized model, I need to see if your idealized model has all of the things that would work over some sort of flat visual compression perspective surface.
It won't work, Lemon.
Right, some unexplainable left to right refraction.
Yeah, it won't work, Lemon. Sorry. It just doesn't
It's
work.
just like looking at a rainbow that's suspended.
No,
above.
it's not. The rainbow is a reflection. This is looking directly at
Lemon,
the
can you
source.
see my screen right now? We're going to look at sunrise, coincidentally, a sunrise from a direction that never occurs in Australia. But for the sake of this, we'll even disregard that anomaly. We are in Sydney, Australia right now, looking at the sun. Now, it is at a constant velocity, but it's coming towards us, which means the angle change in my field of view is incredibly small. So if we play it a little bit, we see it doesn't actually move that much. That the number of degrees it changed was about 2, and that was over the course of an hour. Except let's look at the hour in the middle of the day. So that's the hour in the middle of the day. It changes about 30 degrees, which is a little bit weird. So we've got 2 degrees at the extents of the morning and evening, and then we've got 30 degrees. So it's actually moving 30 times quicker. Now, not only do the angles looking up at it not work anyway, and the arc through the sky not work, but let's even just disregard that and just go with the velocity of the object. The velocity of the object just invalidates itself. Do you understand how these things just don't really work, but all I need to do is rotate a sphere?
Your idealized model misses how eventually the object would merge with the surface due to perspective, depending on how close you are to the surface. So you're going to need to have some sort of line intersect that route of the sun, Stingray, and have the sun poke up out of the surface and seemingly dip below the surface due to perspective, atmospheric magnification, that sort of thing. Your model is missing.
I'm actually looking up at the sun here, and an hour before now, nowhere near the horizon, it's moving at least a quarter of the speed that it is when it's over me in Australia. Do you not understand there is a fundamental flaw in you believing that this is reality?
No, I think you're missing key principles of perspective and atmospheric refraction in your simplified computer abstraction. So I challenge some of your fundamental premises and
Can you
say
show
that
us the
you
principle?
model the sun eventually merging with the surface due to perspective and being cut off bottom first.
What
Can you
part
show
of
us
these
the
looking at
principle?
are you not understanding?
Just the last thing that I'm going to say, Lemon, then, because obviously you don't get the point here. I didn't mention the horizon at all, bottom up obstruction. I simply concentrated on one factor, not even the wrong angle, not even the wrong path through the sky, not even the incorrect size. And you mentioned loads of things, perspective, refraction, but isn't it funny that I don't need much magnitude of either refraction, and I just need the current scientific and mathematic geometric understanding of perspective, and I just rotate a sphere and everything works. I do find that really weird if we're on a flat plane, just saying.
It is really weird that the lie is simple, but the truth is much more complicated than your computerized abstraction.
Lemon, you keep on citing these fundamental principles that he's missing. Do you have any of these, any documentation on these fundamental principles?
Just demonstration of objects disappearing bottom up over what appears to be a flat surface.
Wait a minute, just really quickly. Sorry, Ken. Lemon, you don't have to tell me exactly where you are. Obviously, that'd be bad. But can you tell me what state you're in, and I'll do the path of the sun through your sky. Sorry.
East Coast.
East Coast, whereabouts? Northern.
In the eastern part of the coast.
Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, that's quite big, though, right?
Oh, Virginia.
On the East Coast, in an area roughly the eastern coastish, around there.
North Carolina.
Like anybody actually cares where you fucking live.
Well, yeah, with
in
more than 200 million people.
You got to watch out for the YouTube stalkers. Can't be too safe.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, they're
Right, anyway,
no.
Lemon, this. So I just set this in relation to the solar system, and your approximate location. I'm going to say this could be up to 1 degree inaccurate, but consistently it would be 1 degree inaccurate because I've just estimated your position. But this is the path of the sun through your sky, including the size and everything, including where the terminator line would be, and it just works by rotating a sphere.
Well, since similar effects can have similar causes, your model may be good enough, Stingray, but missing underlying elements that make it, a bit closer to the truth. You have a rotating ball to explain why the sun appears to disappear bottom up, but we can explain that with something flat and simply compressed visual angle, making the same sun that's rotating overhead like a rainbow cut off by being too close to the surface in circular path appear to disappear bottom up, just like that rainbow appears to turn into an arch instead of become a whole circle in its whole circuit.
You had to say whole way too many times. That was comfortable for me there.
Or whatever. Or what?
But again, Lemon, I don't care about it going beyond the horizon. That's easily explained with a ball. But let's even throwing that to the side. The only thing that I will tell you is by nature of rotating a ball, by nature of knowing approximately where you are, give 500 miles. This shows you the exact path of the sun through the sky, and all I had to do was set the sun millions of miles away and rotate a ball with you on it. And it just works. No magic, no this squishing effect, nothing like that. No hidden from the bottom up. This is the path of the sun through your sky, through the day. And it just works. I would love a flat earther to tell me how this model here doesn't actually reflect near enough, and I'm going to say this, half a degree accurate to reality on any single day, on any single place on this land.
a single model.
He asked a question. Abort. He asked a question.
I was looking at your demonstration there. The sun is moving much faster than I see it, so obviously you're lying.
All right, guys, we need to wrap this one up. We're not gonna get anywhere, man. It's been a funny one, bro. Past few days, fantastic shit, bro. I got a few ideas to take some pictures with my cell phone camera and the P900 and see if the size of the lens of the camera will change anything. I doubt it. I mean, but whatever. Hey, whatever. The results of the poll are in, and I've actually just ended the poll. How many people voted? 35 votes. Very good. And the question is, Gary is to small camera as Lemon is to, and we got 4 options. The less amount of votes is to Deception with 8%, to Jesus with 11%, Lemon is to Ether with 34%, and the big winner with a big 45% of the 35 votes is Gary is to small camera as Lemon is to whatever, 45%. Thank you very much everybody for voting. We got a super chat by RT96, last minute super chat for $5. Any sufficient derp flat earth explanation is indistinguishable from magic. Arthur C. Clarke or whoever. Thank you very much, RT. I appreciate it. You kill me with that long word. Let's get some final thoughts. Yeah. This thing great. You're up on screen. If you want to do your final thoughts first, go ahead.
Yeah, cheers, Jose. Good show. Again, with all the little 3D demonstrations that I built that reflect reality without magic, using nothing but perspective, and some of the examples even account for refraction as well. But refraction is not a gold thing for the for the globe side off of flat Earth. Over extreme distances, you're on about it may bend some light by half a degree. Wow! But that doesn't account for the path of the sun through the sky, the orientation of the moon. We can model these out geometrically in a program that uses, obviously, perspective, and everything just works by rotating a sphere. And that is it. I've yet to come across a flat earther to challenge this. They all seem to just go off on tangents and not address this. What's wrong with it? Please, someone come forward. Cheers, Jose.
Cheers. The Stingray, thank you very, very much, man. I really appreciate that, man. Al K, you are here. Final thoughts.
What can I say? I mean, the entire theory that these people build their ideas on, they're willing to throw it right out the window the minute there's a problem with it. And they'll contradict themselves, then contradict themselves again, abandon ideas that they've previously put forward. And it can only come about through either willful ignorance or actual ignorance. You know, either they know that they're talking shit, but they're happy to do so, which, you know, Lemon has admitted in the past anyway, or they just really don't have the slightest clue what they're talking about, but they're willing to ramble on about it and pretend like they do and just make shit up as they go along. And if they were consistent with it, that would at least be something. But everything always turns to conspiracy theory when they're put on the spot. There's never anything solid. You know, ask them a question, they divert. Ask them to show an example, they start complaining that they don't have to do things for you or whatever else. So it's really just kind of a sad running joke watching these people troll. But it's entertaining at times. So cheers for the entertainment, Jose.
Thank you very much, man. It is funny though. I mean, we go through all kinds of feelings over here. It's frustrating a lot of times, but it is funny as a motherfucker. But entertaining. We got Bro Alem. Final thought.
Yeah, I echo that. And yeah, so Lemon Bird on Tuesday, photons. Lemon Bird on Wednesday, light spreads. So it's something divergent going on here. Anyway, thanks for the show. It was fun. Bye.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. If anybody give me some money, I want to do a squeaky earth, but I'll do it for the right amount of money. Damn, that's fucked up. If everybody's watching, before everybody leaves, check on the links on the description box on all the videos. All the videos that are uploaded have a super thanks icon thingy. It's like super chats offline. You guys can use that, or a PayPal link, and or join to Discord. The Discord is open for anybody. If anybody is bored and they say like, you know what, I'm not liking what I see around, I would like just to talk to people in real time. There's nobody in the show, in the chat box, in the voice chat. Jump in one of the chat box, maybe tag at everybody. Hey, let's talk, let's hang out for a bit. People will start making combos like that. Don't wait for me to go live. The Discord server is for you guys to have a place to hang out at any time, any moment, and you can use it for your own, amusement and entertainment. So I appreciate that. Let's go. C4, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. We got Shaik for final thought.
Just next time that Gary says anything about the center of the camera, remind him about the test you did wrong, according to him. I'm sorry about my interruption earlier. I wasn't aware of the super chat. Good show. Thank you.
It's all good. Thank you very much. How you guys that came in at the end, they say, what's going on with Jose here? You got very colorful flowers over here in the background. I get pink flowers over here. Like, what's going on, man? What's going on? This is the weirdo Puerto Rico with the pink flowers and shit, Hey, that's it, man. The frogs. Shout out to the family frog. Mabbit. Yes, I know. All right, we got Discord user. Thank you for coming in. Doofus Manfred, final thoughts.
Right, I was trying to break in a while ago, but I guess now's the time, even though the moment has passed. If Lemon wants to go ahead and, draw out, diagram, light from point sources on objects or various parts of an object, expanding outward, and then arriving at an optical instrument at various angles, and from other points on that same object, all coming down to a focal point on the image sensor side of the lens. He can do all of that and come up with valid explanations for why things appear smaller in the distance, why depth of field and bokeh are a thing, which are related. All of that can be done with some simple geometric diagrams. What cannot be done with that kind of diagramming is a description of why things appear to be obscured by the surface of the Earth as distance increases. Can't do it. There's no way to model it out. Just describing and pretending that perspective somehow defines this as being possible, or that there's some limited angles, doesn't actually do anything. Until you can model it out, give us some mathematics, some descriptive power for predicting what we actually end up seeing in reality, it's of no use to anybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hold on, final thoughts. Apparently, it's Star Wars Day today because May the 4th be with you. May the 4th, everybody, today. And you guys know why are so many sinkholes in Mexico? Because tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo. Happy early Cinco de Mayo tomorrow. That's why the sinkhole. Boom. But then, Earth is live. Final thoughts.
Hey, what's up? I missed the last part of the show. It's always a pleasure, Jose, jumping in and engaging in the conversation. Just a little thing for Gary. I know we all like to pick on Gary, but I don't know. If you're gonna do this little, I'm not sure if you already did your little video or observation or test. If you're gonna try and prove that Bearded Devil was incorrect, make sure you get the distances correct. Make sure you get the camera angle correct. Also, if you wanted to match the Blackpool observation, make sure you curve your surface to the same degree as the Blackpool observation. That way you get it to match perfectly. Anyway, that's once again, good show, Jose.
Merci. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. We got Farmer's Boy for final thoughts.
Thank you, Jose. I managed to get lots of work done tonight.
Yeah, I see. I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why. Yeah.
This plant started blossoming like 4 days ago. It's gigantic. I don't understand what the hell type of plant is this. It's incredible.
Well, you can't remember what you planted.
No, I don't remember. I put a little paper with the name of the flower or whatever it is, and it just broke. So I don't know. I don't know what it is.
You'll find out eventually when it's finished growing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right. Thank you very much, man.
Cheers.
Fred, the Magnificent, final thoughts. Thank you very much. Very insightful. Gary Waibenga. We cannot hear you. You're unmuted, but no sound. We'll go back to you when you sort it out. No Name, aka Luminiferous Ether. Final thoughts.
Jose, hey, you mind if I read something to a particular person in the chat?
Yeah, try to keep it, in the shorter side.
Sure. I'll do my best. This is to Chris Berry, somebody who suffers from model affliction. I didn't know that was a real thing until Balanced Truth turned me on to it. So anyway, in conclusion, some observations like the positions of sun, moon, and star constellations, as well as the sun-moon rise set, can be explained by a flat Earth model if we allow strong light bending in a specific way and restrict the observers to sea level. Even the date of eclipses can be predicted from this model. But observations such as the southern celestial pole, moon phases and its orientation, and apparent rotation, as well as the track of the shadow of the moon on solar eclipses, cannot be computed from the flat Earth model because you need the correct sizes and orbits of the sun, moon, and Earth to compute this. The essential third dimension is lost if you assume a dome over the flat Earth, where sun and moon are close and small observations, other than from sea level, cannot match reality. There is no explanation or scientific model that can physically explain why and how light is bent as needed by this flat Earth model. It is not possible to derive a light bending model that works for any altitude. There you go, Chris. You suffer from model affliction.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Mars Mushrooms, final thoughts.
It's a very good show. I love it always. I'd say I have a couple things. One, Stingray model works every time, like he says, has for hundreds of years, long before Stingray even made it. He didn't have to switch it out to something else. And as far as Lemon and the lasers, not a single laser test has worked for them. They've had to get point the laser up, point the laser down, change it from its original settings every time. It doesn't work.
That's close enough.
All right, we're getting there. Moyog Man, final thoughts.
Well, thank you for the show. I don't really have to say I came in too late.
Audio is like bleeding out, man.
Thanks.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Lemon Bird, final thoughts.
Flat. Once you get past all the propaganda, it's flat. All this, globular modeling, no curvature. All of this moving ball, no movement. 23.4 degree axial tilt made up out of necessity from the model, but not seen in any of NASA's fake photos. It does make you wonder, why all of this globe woo to explain a model that may not be true. But I think there are a couple scientists on record trying to explain away stuff like the axis of evil, the cosmic microwave background radiation that appears to center on our galaxy, let alone our own Earth, that appear to put us at the center of everything. I think the scientists said we're going to need to come up basically with some sort of excuse to make the Earth not the center, moving, or just one of many moving objects, because the alternative, that the Earth is taking some sort of special
even divinely placed position in the universe is just unthinkable to some people. So I guess the main question is, what sort of woo are these people making up to avoid what appears to be otherwise tried and true?
You want to see a magic trick, Lemon? You see me on camera?
Mm-hmm.
You see me?
Yes.
All right, pay attention. Pay attention. This is a nipple. This is a nipple, and this is a nipple. That's the magic trick for today. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh, and I'm growing a pineapple too. Thank you. Go ahead. I hope you like the third nipple trick. Final thoughts, Thurs. All right. Thank you very much. Oh, Gotti, are you back? You got to sort it out for final thoughts?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know what happened.
Did you like my third nipple trick?
No, not really, but that's okay. Let me know how that pineapple goes, because I actually love pineapple. I've been eating it every day for like the last 3 months.
Fucking
yeah.
It
is. It's delicious. I was told they can grow it in California too, so
takes
I
like
might
a
try
fucking year, man, for me to be pineapple. But
well, anyhow, the circling sun will give you all the same angles when it spirals inward and outward from tropic to tropic. When you view it from when it's overhead on the Tropic of Cancer and you view it from the Tropic of Capricorn, you'll see it at 23.4 degrees. It's a perspective angle. And you can't hear me?
Yeah, I'm just mocking for YouTube. I'm just counting the
I
amount
thought
of
you were
nipples
telling
I
me
got.
you couldn't hear me.
No, you're good. We hear you.
But you'll get all the same angles, and as it spirals outward towards Cancer from Capricorn, you'll see it rise slightly more north and set slightly more north on each horizon every day, and then it'll slow down and stop and stay at approximately the same spot for about 3 weeks in June. And then it'll reverse course, go back to Capricorn. You'll get all the same stuff. It'll do the same thing. It'll set a little further south when it goes back towards Capricorn each day, rise a little further south each day until it gets to Capricorn, where it'll sit there for about 3 weeks when it reverses course again at the solstice or during the time of the solstice. You get all the same sun angles. Everything works. It's perfect. You just got to understand that perspective compression is the reason globies don't understand why the sun can set. They don't understand that whole idea. Instead, they turn it into curvature and refraction. There you go.
Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate you watching. It was a beautiful, excellent show. The washing machine is banging over there. Everything is good. Remember to hit the like, share the show, support, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, we can do it earlier. I hope everybody, for those Marvel fans, I enjoyed the finale of Moon Knight earlier today. It was good. But tomorrow, looking forward to watch Doctor Strange on the Multiverse of Madness. Tomorrow at 3:30, I'm going to be in the movie theater sitting down and excited, waiting for it. So hopefully we can do the show earlier before that. Thank you very much. Jose JG out. Boom.
Yeah, Gary, you're